Good afternoon and welcome to the final round of the 8th annual Clovernook Open. Chatterbox Sports brings you Championship Friday, where a field of 106 players has now been trimmed to just the final 44. Take a look at the leaderboard. These guys are battling for a share of a $100,000 purse. And names stacked atop the leaderboard. Evan Davis, the solo leader, but there are so many chasers right now. Still early on, the final pairing, just on the 7th hole, but we welcome you into Cincinnati, Ohio, and Clovernook Country Club, a great venue, a fantastic day. And alongside Griffin Turner, college golfer at Wittenberg, I'm Luke Brenneman. We'll be with you all day today on Chatterbox Sports. Griffin, we just saw the leaderboard. We're set up for a fantastic Friday finish.
Yeah, we got a ton of outstanding golfers out here on a very tough golf course. Very windy out here. A lot of scoreable holes, a lot of tough holes. Got to keep it in front of them.
We're going to throw it to the 18th tee. We'll have coverage of 17 green and 18 tee all day today. But when you look at that leaderboard, Evan Davis, the solo leader on hole 9 right now, a lot of these guys are about to make the turn. You play college golf. Now these guys are, professional for the most part. One amateur in the field we'll get to later. But come the back 9, there's a different type of pressure when you have, finances on the line, and especially an event so historic like this one.
Yeah, like you said, coming down this back 9, it's very important to take advantage of these birdie opportunities. These last 4, you got 15, 16, 17, and 18, all very scoreable golf holes. But also those first 5 holes, if you can get through 1 under, like I had talked about with Daniel Wetterich last night, if you can get through 1 under in those first 5 holes, you're going to give yourself a very good opportunity coming down the stretch.
Daniel Wetterich, 2-time champion, also trying to go back-to-back after a win last year. This is his home course at Clovernook Country Club. He's won back on hole 7. He's in the final pairing. Will Grimmer, who's won back, is in the penultimate pairing alongside the leader, Evan Davis. What other names should we keep an eye on this leaderboard right now?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, Will Grimmer, Daniel Wetterich. Danny Fisher came in the house earlier with our low round of the day, 66. Jordan Gilkison, he's about to come up on the 18th hole. He's a Springboro native, only 45 minutes from here. Ashton Van Home also playing pretty well. Anything even or better so far in this day is looking really good.
While we have a second, take a look at the Clovernook Open. What is the Clovernook Open? A lot of you may wonder. A lot of these guys have at once played on the PGA Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour, any other surrounding mini tours. This is an independent event, and the sponsors, the membership here at Clovernook Country Club has now put this on for the 8th consecutive year, and it continues to get bigger and continues to get better. The winner getting $20,000, a purse at $100,000, and this year a field of 109, now down to 44. So the first and second rounds were Wednesday and Thursday. There was a cut yesterday afternoon when everyone finished up, and the top 44 are now on the golf course, everybody on the course for the final round Friday. This tournament launched in 2019. It's reestablished championship golf at Clovernook Country Club. It's become a major Cincinnati area professional event. And Griffin, both you and I kind of from around the area, there's a lot of ties, a lot of family, and a lot of support for the guys playing in this event.
Yeah, 100%. This event, it's honestly great for these guys because they're not quite there yet. They're not on the PGA Tour. They might not have status, but it gives them a really good opportunity to come out here, play a really nice golf course, very scoreable. Gives them a really good opportunity to get their name out there.
So the first group that we'll be embarking upon just minutes from now is the 10:30 tee time. There's about a dozen tee times after that. It's pairings the entire way. There's our first look at the 18th tee. So, Griffin, you're a college golfer. I assume you could get it, close. 320. That's a par 4, by the way. So this is a really exciting final hole to finish on.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come up to these final groups later in the day, with all these scores being so close, 8 under, 9 under, 10 under, all within about 2 to 3 shots, this final hole can really get interesting. Drive the green, make a putt. That's quick eagle. You're turning around and maybe having a playoff there at the end.
We've seen now 3 or 4 guys put it on the green in their tee shot. The best shot of the day came from the Dover, Ohio native in the 9:30 a.m. group. He's already finished up. Blake Sattler. He put his tee ball to about 15 feet from 320 out on the tee.
Yeah, the tough thing about this tee shot right now, this wind's very hard off the left, pushing towards that right side of the green. It's going to leave you a short-sided attempt. If you can get it going, start at the left side of the green, maybe with a little baby cut, get it going to the center of the green, giving yourself a really good opportunity to make it 2.
Here's Jordan Gilkison. Gilkison at 6 under, currently tied for 9th, but currently on a marvelous 4 under round. Low round of the day today so far was a 5 under 66 from Danny Fisher, who finished about 30 minutes ago. Gilkison trying to tie that and maybe make an eagle and become the new low round of the day.
It's one hand finish, looking towards the left.
Looks like that one was sprayed out to Gilkison's right. We're right behind the 18th green. So it would be our left.
Yeah, excuse me.
No, it's fine. That's where camera angle down there. We have a couple cameras behind the 18th green and all over the flag. I remember, Griffin, I was a part of the broadcast for the 2024 event. Willie Mack III won that one. There was a 6-way playoff. And when you start looking at names, I mean, if my math is correct, yeah, that's 6 names within 2 shots of the lead. And Evan Davis is the lone man right now on hole 9. At 10 under par. Here's Meade on the tee, 3 under so far, trying to wrap up his week here in Cincinnati. Starts this one way out to his left, and I don't even know if it's going to work back through those trees. And it does, and now hits the cart path. This is out all the way towards us. This is definitely going to be the longest drive of the day. It is still dancing on the cart path. Has green to work with, but I'm not entirely sure if that tree is going to affect his swing on 18. But let's look into the event a little bit, Griffin. It's obviously going to heat up when it comes to who the champion is going to be in 2026 the more we go on. But this is truly a community event here in Cincinnati. There are a plethora of sponsors. The membership is behind the event. The golf course is in pristine condition, and the weather today is good as it gets. But it's competition, community, charity is a big deal. And then the youth engagement has also been on full display throughout the week. I want to look into the golf course with you, though. Talk to us about maybe what the leaders are wrapping up right now, the front 9, and then everybody is soon to be on the back.
Yeah, that front 9, it starts you off hole 1, playing the easiest hole on the golf course, playing .52 under par. It's a par 5. It's really short. Gives you a very good opening opportunity to scratch a 4 on the card, but then it hits you in the face really quick. 2 through 4. All very tough holes, playing over par. Hole 4, a very long 230 yards, par 3. Could be when it plays into the wind, it can play up to 240 yards. Maybe if you lay it back short into the fairway, it gives you an opportunity to try and get up and down for a par. You step up to the 5th tee, 550-yard par 5. Then you get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th hole, all very tough holes. 7, a short little par 4, where you're laying it up to the fairway, and then you're going to be leaving yourself with a mid-iron, maybe 6, 7 iron, going into that green. And 8's a good opportunity, and 9 is a very long, usually into the wind, par 4, bending to the right.
470 on the scorecard. This course plays at 6,600 yards from the back tee. But the back 9, that's where everyone's about to be. The final pairing is on the 9th hole right now, Griffin, but it kind of opens up a little bit when it comes to birdie opportunities.
Yeah, I talked to Daniel Wetterich last night about kind of what he wants to focus on coming down the stretch, and he said if you can get through 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 at around even or 1 under, you're really giving yourself a really good opportunity coming down the stretch, getting into those birdie holes. Hole 14 is one I really want to focus on. It's just like hole 5, it's a really long par 3. You're going to have about 4 or 5 iron into that green, and you're just usually they like to put that pin in the back on that final round. If you go anywhere long of it, you're kind of dead. You're going to be hoping to make a 3, probably going to make a 4. So if you can hit the center of that green any day, even in this wind, you're probably making up a few shots.
And then 17 and 18 coming in, the 2 holes that we will have you dialed in on all day today here on the Chatterbox live stream of the final round of the Clovernook Open. There's a look at some of the guys coming up 18 here, and that was the tee ball from Connor Meade just moments ago. I mean, for this hole playing 320, he is more than hole high after a ride on the cart path down to our right side. We'll just see, is he directly behind that tree? And from the angle he's looking at it, green might not even be in play here, Griffin.
Yeah, it's one thing coming from that angle, you're going to have obviously a lot of green to work with, but you can't really play it low. You got that bunker just in front of you there. You're going to have the upslope just in front of that and that tree overhanging. You're not going to be able to take it too high, and if you take it too low, you're hitting your third from the sand.
Here's the putt on 17. This is Florian Lutry, left it a little bit short. So 17's a long par 5. It's the number 8 handicap on the course. It is the lone par 5, or pardon me, 16 and 17 back-to-back par 5s on the back 9. So, I mean, when you go, and especially for these guys that a majority of them, 43 of the 44 playing in the final round, are professionals.
Yeah.
When you see par 5, drivable, par 4 to finish, your eyes light up.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a chaser.
Yeah, you're definitely looking to make 3 birdies, maybe scratch an eagle on 17. These final 3 holes like you were talking about, all playing under par, the final 4 holes playing all under par. So it's very good opportunities for them to make up some shots.
And here's a guy in Gilkison where his score just registered for the 17th hole par 5. He made another birdie. He's now at 7 under for the tournament, 5 under in the final round. And if he can get up and down and make birdie here, he would be the leader in the clubhouse, finishing extremely early on this young Friday afternoon. This one is on its way. And it got stuck in the tree limbs. You see the disappointment on Gilkison's face. Let's talk a little bit strategy here, Griffin. When you see a drivable par 4 like this one, but it's tight.
Yeah.
There's tough lies everywhere. It's uphill for the most part. The tee box is somewhat level with the green, but it swells down into a pond right in front of the tee box. And a lot of tree trouble to our left, to right of the tee box, and then kind of opens up a little bit to the left. But right there we saw Gilkison get stuck in the trees because he put it way left. What type of strategy do you have to take account if you're, in the hunt? I know Gilkison's going for it no matter what because he's playing from behind, but at some point, would you rather have, a 50, 60-yard pitch shot than punching out from under a tree going for the green? Yeah,
this is a awesomely made hole. It's 320 yards, like you said, and it tightens up at 280 yards. So it's kind of forcing you to, if you want to lay this one up, you're going to have to hit a good, well-struck layup. And if you're going to go for it, it's kind of more opened up. But the lies around the green, there's a lot of undulation. You might have the ball above, below your feet. So it's just, you're more than likely, like you said, if you're Gilkison, you're going to take driver and try and push it up there, give yourself the best opportunity to make birdie. But if you're playing this later today and you need, maybe if you only need par, I could definitely see a lot of guys laying it back with 4-iron or 3-wood. But the best opportunity to make a 3 is really just push it up there and just deal with whatever lie you have, because these guys' short games are unreal.
Here's Gilkison's third. This one looks like it may come up a little bit short. Takes a good jump off the top of the green. Wow, that's a fantastic pitch shot. And he's got a little bit of a backstop here behind the hole. Still be a tough putt. That's downhill to start. Will probably move to the right. That's for par for the low man of the day so far, Gilkison, at 5 under par, 7 for the tournament. And you never know what can happen. We see it at the professional level all the time when you have, 6 figures of a purse come into play, and for all these guys, a majority of them just life the rest of the summer. Here's Mead's second from behind the tree. He drew it around the tree and was right on line with the pin, but it came up short. He had so much green to work with. I'm not even sure how he got it around that tree without going sideways.
Yeah, that was a pretty unfortunate break hitting the cart path. I mean, if it takes one less cart path bounce, he's got pretty much the easiest birdie look that he's probably had all day, but instead just one extra bounce, gets stuck behind that tree. Like you said, pretty impressive to even get it to where he is now.
So he'll have an up and down look from probably the furthest point away from the pin when it comes to hole high around the green. Nonetheless, a lot of green to work with. Both of these guys just scrambling to make pars at this point. The 18th is the 16th ranked handicap hole on this golf course. Dive into Gilkison a little bit and his profile. A Springboro, Ohio guy. Just finished up his college career last year, his senior season at Kent State. He was the MAC Golfer of the Year, was obviously MAC first team. He led the team with a 70.78 scoring average. Just a fantastic college golfer. Here's Mead's third. Breezes by a little bit, left with about 6 to 8 feet to clean up his par. But when you come out here in a 3-day event, and you're sitting at 7 under on your final hole, but 5 under on Sunday, now you got to be proud of yourself for playing the low round of the day so far, but at the same time, a little bit of that what if probably kicks in your brain. If I could have some of those birdie putts back earlier in this week.
Yeah, it's really important, especially in 3-day golf tournaments where, like, trying to keep that what if out of your brain, because yeah, you could say, like, I should be 5 under, I should be 10 under, I should be shooting the course record right now. A lot of college golfers are like, yeah, well, like, I'm guilty of it myself. I come off the course, shoot 69, and I'm like, well, shoot, I could have shot 67 today because I missed so many of these short putts. But it's just very important to stay present, stay one shot at a time, and one of these days that what if will happen.
Here's Gilkison. Out of Washington Township, Ohio, Springboro High School. This is his first year playing professional golf. Talked about the Kent State grad in 2025. And this is for par. That'll be a bogey for Gilkison, so it'll be a final round 66 for 67 now with the bogey for Gilkison, if he cleans that one up. So the low round of the day goes back to the man who finished up about an hour ago, and that's Danny Fisher. He shot 66, a really solid round 3. He's worked his way all the way inside the top 10. Gilkison will join 3 others in a tie for 10th if he cleans up his bogey. Connor Mead is a little bit different than Gilkison. He's an older guy, graduated college in 2022. Went to Montverde Academy for high school and is now jumping around a lot of mini tours. This is an Amherst, Ohio native. This is for par as well. And Mead gets it to go. So Connor Mead finishes up the Clovernook Open at 3 under par for his 3 rounds. And that has him inside the top 25, dancing around the top 20, depending on what the other guys do. To get inside the top 20 as of now, obviously more groups are still on the course than those who have finished, is firmly at 4 under with about 5 or 6 guys tied for 16th there. Gilkison to clean up the bogey and get out of here for the tournament. A 6 under week for Jordan Gilkison and an unbelievable 4 under Friday. Next group is already ready and waiting on the tee. We took a look at them on 17. That was Florian Lutry and Dylan Van Fossen. Both of these guys professionals. Remember, 43 of the 44 players in the field so far, or excuse me, all afternoon, are professionals outside of Justin Horn, the Milford, Ohio native, coach's son on the Milford golf team. I even got to experience playing against Justin in my playing days, and he's in the 11:20 tee time. Horn has had an unbelievable week, and he's 5 or 6 tee times from the final pairing. So at his age, amateur status, obviously cannot pocket any money from this event, but already paving the way a little bit in his golf journey. Here's Van Fossen on the 18th tee.
Van Fossen just like we talked about earlier, taking advantage of those scoring opportunities coming down the stretch. 3 birdies in his last 3 holes, 15, 16, and 17.
Zoom in a little bit there. His ball is short left. That's a spot where we've seen guys make birdies from all day. A really good pitch opportunity. If you hit it too far to the left, the bunkers come in play, and you know they're 15, 20 feet lower than the green, so that's a tough shot. Here's Lutry, currently at 2 under for the tournament. Talked about Van Fossen, 3 under on his round. And 5 under for the tournament. With a birdie here, Van Fossen can put himself inside the top 10.
I believe that was less than driver for Lutry, like doing what we were talking about, laying it back, trying to give himself a comfortable wedge number.
That lands in the right trees. There are some guys on 17 fairway right now that it kind of breezed past them through a couple limbs. If it can get past the trees, which the guys pulling driver have proven, they have enough in the tank to get it past. You're short-sided, still birdies in play if you hit a really good pitch shot, but the miss here is for sure left if you're going to miss.
Yeah, that's why I said you got to really be committed on your decision off the tee, especially if you're standing on that 18th tee and you have iron or less than driver in hand. It's really tight up there, so if you lay it back to a comfortable wedge number, you just got to make sure you hit the fairway. If you try and drive it up here as far as you can, it definitely opens up, but like I said, you're going to have an awkward lie if you don't put it on.
Take a look at 17. If you're not in Cincinnati right now, it is as nice of a day as it looks. I mean, for my liking, Griffin, maybe a little bit warmer considering we're now into the first week of May, second week of May even, but 70 degrees, 65. We're in the shade here, a little bit breezy. We talked about the course conditions. A lot of guys over par today, which has been rare this week. We've seen a plethora of birdies. This is a scoreable golf course. It's not overwhelmingly long. It's definitely a thinker's golf course when it comes to some intricacies here and there. You've played it a couple of times. But bogeys all over the place, and the leaders are really holding true at this 10 and 9 under range.
Yeah, it's definitely a ball striker's paradise. If you get out of position, that's when you start to make a lot of bogeys. It's not a golf course that you'll make a lot of 7 or 8s on. It's a golf course where you'll make a couple bogeys in a row, maybe stretch 3 or 4 together, and then that way it'll kind of get away from you. But it's definitely a very scoreable golf course, like we saw earlier in the week, a 63 from Daniel Wetterich, a couple 65s from others. It's very important to take advantage of the scoring opportunities out here.
Still a long day to come here at Clovernook Country Club. Live music and a party following the leaders and championship ceremony here on the 18th green. Members come flooding in along with spectators and local golf fans to see the leaders finishing up. And when you have Cincinnati guys all over the leaderboard, some hometown heroes like Will Grimmer, we talked about Clovernook member Daniel Wetterich, who's trying to go back-to-back and win 3 of the last 4 Clovernook Opens. He's in the final pairing. There's kind of a buzz around here, and
yeah,
you can feel the excitement of what this finish is going to present.
Will Grimmer, very important name we should pay attention to. He's got winning experience. That 2025 Ohio Open up in Firestone. So having that experience will definitely help him out coming down the stretch.
Looks like Lutry is going to play first from not a bad position if the ball is actually adjacent to where his bag and caddy are set up. I would assume the branches are in somewhat of a play if he wants to hit a really high shot, but I mean, Griffin, you're the college golfer, not me. Still 25, 30 feet of room to work with this back flag.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's definitely a shot you want to pay attention to. It's one you might try and run it up. We're not really sure about his lie.
See him looking up there
yeah,
at the tree.
I was gonna say, looking up at those trees, he might be able to take like a pitching wedge, back foot it, maybe just land it just short of the green, get it to release up there. This back of this green, you got to be careful. It's kind of funneling towards us behind the green, so it's definitely what can I make par. And when you're out of position, it's what can I do to make par. And then if you just so happen to hit a wonderful shot, then you start thinking 3.
Just an update on the leaders on the golf course. Jimmy Morton is now at 8 under par on the 16th hole. He is in a tie for second with now 6 other players. Make that 7 other golfers with a recent bogey from Will Grimmer. Here's the pitch shot. And that finds a spot on the front of the green. That's a really tough shot. We've seen guys all afternoon when we've been off air try and have that first bounce land in the rough, and then it kind of squirt towards the flag once it gets to the slimy surface. And that one just took a couple too many bounces in the rough. Still has a putt for birdie.
Yeah, you could tell on that strike that the shaft kind of got stuck in the grass or in the ground. Might not have been the most amazing lie for him.
And now here's Van Fossen. He has all kinds of green to work with this time. And Van Fossen just can't get it back there. Probably a 25-30 footer for his birdie coming up.
Yeah, coming out of that bunker, that's a little unusual. We aren't sure what the lie was like. Obviously, from back here, we can't tell. But just coming out of a bunker like that, these guys are short games. Their hands are nice and soft. They can get the ball down and running towards the hole with pretty much any lie, any shot. So that's just a little unusual. Not the best shot in his mind, I'm sure.
Van Fossen is one of those guys that if you're going to walk this golf course and follow a player all day, Dylan Van Fossen's a fun one to follow because I'm looking at his scorecards from Wednesday until now. There are a ton of bogeys and more birdies than bogeys. He's just going after every flag, kind of a risk-reward type of guy. Yeah, you talked about this golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, there are challenges that just come up if you put it in the wrong spot, but it is scoreable if you're hitting it in the fairway.
Yeah, just like I said, ball striker's paradise out here. If you hit the center of the green, you're probably going to have within 20 feet for birdie. These greens aren't huge. These greens aren't really undulated either. I mean, they have some subtle undulations. That's also another big advantage being able to play this place a lot is you're able to tell where the subtle breaks are.
Here's Lutry for his birdie to finish up his week at the Clovernook Open. This one swinging to his right. And he just didn't get it there, but a tap-in par for Lutry to finish up his week at 2 under par. Florian Lutry, a member of the University of Memphis golf team back in his collegiate days. Lutry firmly out of school at 33 years young. He had a really tough Friday, especially on this front 9. Had a stretch on 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 where he went bogey, bogey, double, bogey, bogey. But since then has played 5 under par from 8 until now here with that tap-in par on 18. That's a way to battle right there.
Yeah, that's very important. I bet if we were to interview him, he would say did a really good job of staying present, taking it shot by shot, and just chipping away at that deficit. And he did a really good job of getting it back.
Here's Van Fossen to finish his tournament with 4 consecutive birdies if he can throw this one in. It's got the pace and just misses on the near side. Still a little meat on that bone right there. I know I would be over that one shaking. I'm sure Van Fossen looks at it as just a tap-in par, Griffin. But
yeah, 100%. This is where it may not look like it, but like coming down the stretch in seasons is as many rounds pile up. These are where like you gain a lot of shots on other players, because if you don't you see all the stats on tour. Like some guys will go 600 putts, not missing one of these. So that's where the best players make up their strokes on others.
And you would have to think in a moment like this for Van Fossen, he's in a completely different boat. I know Lutry is playing well on the back 9, but Lutry's probably just trying to get out of this tournament. Van Fossen, you have 3 birdies in a row. You're a little bit more locked in on this putt, and you know you want to earn it. But nothing matters besides the number on the scorecard, and that relates to the number in your pocket. So Van Fossen taps in for par. We haven't seen a birdie in our young coverage so far, the Clovernook Open on the drivable par 4 18th hole. Lutry taps in as well.
You mentioned not having seen a birdie just yet. I think the wind is just really like wreaking havoc out here with these players. It's pushing them towards this their right side, our left side. It's pushing them over there, and it's kind of giving them like maybe just scaring them on the tee. Maybe they just aim a little more left and they pull it and they end up on that left side, or they block it and push it and cut it towards the right side of the green. That just leaves them with a really, really hard up and down.
Here's Ben Siegel at 4 under for the tournament. Siegel inside the top 20 in a tie for 17th place with 6 other golfers. Playing the scoreable 18th, has this thing teed up all the way on the right side of the tee. See if he tries to cut this onto the green. He's looking out to the left. And that one got caught up in the trees. So the cut came all the way back to his right side of the fairway. And we'll see another really difficult pitch from that right tree area. I mean, there's 5 or 6 trees scattered, and those are all thick, Griffin. Here's a look on the tee for the first time today of Michael Bradham. Bradham at 2 under for the tournament. Looks like he pulled hybrid or 3-wood off the tee. And this finds the right rough, but past the trees. So that shows you the power that Bradham has off the tee. He pulled less than driver, and I think he just hit it further than Siegel, who did pull driver.
Yeah. That's a very hard feeling to take in when someone hits it a little bit past you and you took more club than them.
All right, there's a look at the leaderboard. We'll send it to a quick break, but we're just getting started here at Clovernook Country Club, the 8th annual Clovernook Open, and it's Evan Davis going into the back 9 in the penultimate pairing with a 2-shot lead. We'll be right back on Chatterbox Sports. Back here at Clovernook Country Club. First couple groups of coverage coming up, the 18th hole right now. A 3-day tournament. And we'll be with you the entire final round Friday. I'm Luke Brenneman alongside Griffin Turner, a broadcaster and college golfer at Wittenberg. And Griffin, we're seeing some of the guys just finishing up their weeks right now. We've seen a couple low rounds, but even at these stages in the young afternoon, not too much contention talk right now.
Yeah, no, these guys are just coming out here, just try and fire a low one, maybe make a little bit extra cash to go home with. For them, it's just try and just get through the day, maybe fire something in the 60s, but also enjoy the day. You're not coming out here, you're probably not going to win. I think most of these guys know that, but just come out here, enjoy the day. It's beautiful weather in Cincinnati, Ohio. Just a little bit windy.
Yeah, and that has caused some challenges so far, even for the leaders. But the guy holding strong right now atop everybody else is Evan Davis at 10 under through 10. He's 2 under on his round. The best round of the day is coming up on 18 very shortly. James Morton is now on the 17th tee. We'll get some footage of him when he gets to the 17th green. He's at 8 under par, 3 under on his final round. So he's trying to post, somewhere around a birdie finish could get him to that double-digit 10 under par number. And that could be tough if this win stays true, and obviously the pressure of a championship here at Clovernook Country Club could cause some of these leaders to slip, because there's now 6 players tied at 8 under par all over the golf course. And then Evan Davis on 11 in the penultimate pairing at 10. Right now, here's Ben Siegel from the trees on the right. Siegel, a native of Minnetonka, Minnesota, went to Kansas University, played golf inside the Big 12, finished up in 2022. He's going to hit a little low punch shot that just does not climb up the hill onto the putting surface.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about just before the break. Just hit it a little too low. We were talking about when one of our guys was underneath that tree. You can't go too low. You can't go too high. It's just coming out of that rough over there on the right is what makes this hole so special, is you miss just barely, and you're out of position.
I mean, from what we're seeing so far today, as Bradham steps into his look, at least no tree trouble on this one. Goes a little bit higher. This green is also deceiving. That one checked up more than others have. It looks like, especially from this camera angle, you can see it kind of on Siegel's line in the navy there, short of the green. It looks like there's a ridge going uphill, which there is. But once you get past that ridge on a pitch shot like that, it keeps going towards the hole and brings the back of the green in play when you would think it's tough to get it back there.
Yeah, well, just short of the flag and to the right, there's a fall off to that right side of the green. And then you take about 2 or 3 more steps right there, and then it kind of funnels, or it'll funnel back to you if you get it far enough right and far enough back there. But then right past that, it funnels off the back of the green. This hole is just absolutely amazing design. It's tough everywhere, just stuff everywhere. Makes you really pay attention.
So this is Siegel's 3rd shot, trying to get up and down for par. He left it a little bit short after leaving it in the trees on his 2nd, right behind him. Siegel had a senior year scoring average of 71.47 in college.
Very well done.
And this one has a chance. Oh my, Siegel slams his bag with his club. I think he thought that one was going to slow down a little bit. It looked like he had a chance to hit the stick, and still a testy 6 to 8 footer there to clean up his par.
Yeah, that one looked like it had slowed down, like we talked about, feeding off the back of that green. Really never showed any signs of slowing down.
Bradham moving extremely quick. He has not had a solid final round. He's 6 over par, but has a birdie look here on 18.
Tell you what, Bradham is a big feller. He is up there.
I mean, now that he gets closer to us on the green, you see how it was just hybrid. He carried it 295 yards to the short of the green. Bradham out of San Antonio, Texas. He's a golf pro. And I like Bradham. When we were doing prep earlier this week, he says on his LinkedIn profile, he says, a mini tour professional golfer that will make it to the PGA Tour.
I love that. That is the correct attitude. That's not a attitude. That is the correct attitude.
Looks like Siegel will go first for his par putt.
This one just should be moving up the hill to his right, off that slope, just to the right of to his left of the hole.
Siegel trying to keep his score for the week at 5 under par. Played a solid round of 2 under today. This putt right here for par will keep him in the 60s and just does not work back to the right. We've now seen 2 bogeys on 18 before we've seen our first birdie, and this is now the 4th group that's come through. So,
yeah, Bradham's got probably the best look that we've seen, just maybe 8 to 10 feet.
I'm trying to work in these guys' favors for the announcers' jinx. Bradham, you said it, about a 10-footer here. From what we've seen, this is a fairly straight putt. You can see there's a really good shot coming from our clubhouse camera. It looks like it's going to move to the left from the viewer standpoint on camera. And it stays straight, and there's our first birdie of the coverage. Michael Bradham taps in and gets his score finalized on the week at 3 over. It was a tough round of a 5 over 76 on Sunday, but finishes strong, and he'll leave Cincinnati with at least a birdie on 18 of momentum.
Yeah, looking at the way he played these final 2 holes, first day, he totaled eagle on 17, birdie on 18. That's 3 under, and then yesterday, birdie on both of them, birdies on both today. He played those final stretch of holes very, very well.
Siegel taps in for bogey, finishes his week at 4 under par. A tough finish. You could see his frustration from the former Kansas Jayhawk. But you talked about it. Michael Bradham, he has fallen in love. That is what? 7 under in his 6 holes of work on 17 and 18 from Wednesday to Friday. Now on the tee here. On 18, this is Dylan Meyer, native of Evansville, Indiana, and he carries it all the way to the short right portion of the green. That's maybe the best spot to do it if you're not going to put it on, right?
Yeah, well, if it just really depends. If that's where you're going to leave it, that's obviously a very good opportunity. But that's a very tight spot to try and hit
it.
Right,
because there's branches.
If you push it just a hair more right to where our scoreboard is, you're looking at a really tough up and down. Probably the best thing about it is that you're chipping back into the wind.
Here's Owen Stamper, another chaser who's had a fantastic Friday, 3 under. Stamper doesn't love this one, keeping a keen eye on it. And it lands short of the green and just cannot work its way onto the putting surface. That was directly at the flag. A really good tee shot for Stamper. He'll be an up and down away from the leader in the clubhouse is what it would be. Because the leader right now is Danny Fisher at 6 under par. Fisher shot 5 under on Friday. That's a 66. But another look at the leaderboard. Evan Davis has bogeyed the 11th hole. And now we're left with the treat of 5 golfers, 1 back, tied for second at 8 under. That's Will Grimmer, Cincinnati kid, Daniel Wetterich, hometown Clovernook Open member, Ashton Van Home, a Corn Ferry Tour player, has played in 60 Corn Ferry events in his career. And then James Morton. Keep an eye on Morton because he's coming up on our coverage. A lot of the other guys have a ton of golf left to play, but when we talk about a serious leader in the clubhouse that has a chance to, stick around and hit some balls when it comes to potentially a playoff, Morton is the guy. We see him 1 back of the lead. Everybody who's gotten to 10 under, we saw Wetterich get to 10 under at one point on the front 9. Grimmer got to 10 under in those first 4 holes today, has fallen off of that number. The winner last year finished the tournament at 16 under par. That was Wetterich, who's currently sitting in that 8 under position.
Yeah, just got word. Daniel Wetterich birdied the 10th hole, gets to the 9 under number. And, I want to talk about just a little bit more Jimmy Morton. If you're going to pick a golf course to try and make a big comeback, this is the place to do it. You leave yourself, you par the par holes, and you birdie the birdie holes. You can really just tie it all together, like Daniel Wetterich did last year. Coming from behind, it's not easy, obviously. It's not easy at all, but out here it's very possible, and it can be done.
So you talked about it. If you can birdie the 10th hole, that's a 400-plus par 4. That's the 4th ranked handicap hole on the scorecard. 11 extremely birdieable. For these pros, 160-yard par 3.
Yeah. That's
the 18 handicap hole. You're a college golfer. I would say for most of these guys, that's 9 iron.
Yeah. Well, like you said, 10. It's a tough hole. It's over 420 yards. It's playing .8 or .08 shots over par. That 3 gains a shot and a half. That on that 11th hole, making par there gains you just under .1 shots. So I mean, getting through those first 4 holes, like we said earlier, at about even or 1 under is extremely important. You can give yourself a very good opportunity coming down the stretch.
So here is James Morton and his group. The guy in your shot right there on the 17 green is Justin Horn. Horn, a native of Milford, Ohio. Morton in that rust orange polo. Horn is the low amateur. This is a really fun group. We have the low amateur in Horn, who will play first on 17. And then the guy who's chasing to be the leader in the clubhouse away from every other guy who's in right now is playing right beside him. And we have word coming from the 17th green that the native of Sugar Grove, Illinois, James Morton, has a birdie putt that is tighter than Horn's here on 17. Here's Justin Horn for birdie on the par 5 17. Want it to slow down a little bit. That blows way past the hole, so we'll remember that. 17 looks like it works back to front. That thing was a sweeper right to left with some serious pace on it. So Horn will throw a mark on that, and here we go. Our first high pressure, or at least high stakes putt of the day, coming early in this afternoon. This is back to 18. And Dylan Meyer's pitch, so he'll have that left for birdie. Meyer, another guy that we're keeping our eyes on. Same with Owen Stamper. James Morton for birdie on 17. Just missed it. Had the pace perfect. And a little bit low at the end of the putt. So now, with the par there, he has got to be thinking about the green in 1 on the par 4 18th. Bring it back to 18. Here's Meyer. Trying to get to 5 under for the tournament. Got it. Well, final round of 69 finishes his week here in Cincinnati with a 68 on Thursday and a 69 2 under on Friday. Dylan Meyer 5 under. That has him inside the top 15 here at the Clovernook Open.
Yeah, he played that hole just about how it was made to be played, just driving it up there, give himself a very good opportunity on the chip.
And here's Stamper trying to push the number to 7 under. That's center cup. Those two guys put on a clinic on 18. Stamper finishes now at 7 under par, shot a 4 under 67 on final round Friday, and that's your leader in the clubhouse right now, Owen Stamper at 7 under par. Stamper played at Middle Tennessee State University, was the 2023 Conference USA Player of the Year. Had a 71 stroke average on the nose. We'll send it back to the tee. Here's Jacob V. Scott on the tee at 18, and he has driver. This looks pretty good off the tee here, Griffin. He's keeping an eye on it, and it hits the left side of the green, a soft bounce, and is going to go all the way to the back portion of the green. That'll most likely be a chip, but that's some serious juice from Jacob Scott.
Yeah, very good spot to leave it. Chipping back up the hill, going to be moving towards his left. Very makeable chip there.
We've got to see an eagle here.
Oh, absolutely, especially coming down the stretch from one of these guys who were within the lead.
How exciting would that be? I mean, this hole, I remember, I keep bringing up that six-way playoff in 2024, but how electric of a hole is this to have a playoff? Here's John Aber, and this one is way out to the right. You know, if you're going to be right, it's to some of these guys' advantage to be extremely right, because the 17th fairway comes into play, and there is a window if you hit it, say, 290, 280 yards carry distance between the trees that border the 17th fairway to our left and the trees naturally designed here to the right side of the rough on 18.
Yeah, absolutely. This hole is just like, it's so perfect because it forces you to hit the shot that you're going to commit to. You can't hit a 3-wood and get away with hitting it just right, just left, because there's just like there's something everywhere. If you hit the shot you're committed to, you're going to be rewarded. If you don't, that's where you start to come into trouble.
I like that because we talked about it. It's not like you just pull the 4-wood or 4-iron and 3-wood out of the bag and you're in the fairway. It's not one of those short par 4s. Here's another look at the leaderboard. And Ashton Van Home, I mean, these guys have been on par with that 9 and 10 underscore all day. Nobody wants to break away, and everybody showing the urge to continue to chase. We have Morton coming to the 18th tee. He'll be next to hit when this group finishes up. Pace of play has been marvelous this entire Friday so far. But, I mean, even at the leaderboard, you can't count out the names we haven't mentioned yet. Jacob Harper. He's playing with Drew Salyers. Salyers, an Indiana University grad. But the guy to watch right now, where we at least have coverage on 17 and 18, is going to be this tee ball from Morton.
Yeah.
Because if you see the leaderboard and know that the back nine is scoreable, 10 under coming in right now will at least be eye candy and maybe scare the guys a little bit, but it's probably not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, James Morton, I'm not sure. I'm a look at the scoreboard kind of guy. I like to know what I have to do, but if he's standing on that tee, he's got a long wait in front of him, probably going to be kind of juiced up. He probably knows what number he's at. So stepping up to that tee, a lot of adrenaline running through his body. If it was me, I would love to look at the scoreboard, but just based off of that, it's going to be a huge shot for him, just adrenaline rush and all.
James Morton played collegiately at Illinois Wesleyan University.
It's a D3 school.
So, hey, I know my main man Griffin's to my right on Chatterbox Sports, but if he's anything like Jimmy Morton, in a couple years' time, I'll still probably be the sucker calling you coming up 18 at the Clovernook Open.
We love those D3 golf guys.
So now the wind is picking up. It's been prevalent all day, but just from looking at the flag on 18 behind the scoreboard on that shot right there, I mean, it's downwind now on this
Yeah,
hole.
it's down off the left. It's definitely forcing the players to, or it's making the players, if they go for it, try and hold it off from that right side, because if once you go way right, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot and making it really hard to make 3 from there, especially coming down the stretch. If you need a 3, you're probably going to aim at the left edge of the green and either turn it over or try and cut it. Looks like John Aber is going to be behind the scoreboard. He's going to get free relief from that.
We've seen guys get relief all day from the scoreboard, and the relief that we've seen, as you get another look there at Jacob Scott, has been towards the tee box side. So from that angle on your screen to the right side of the scoreboard, which is an opening of the trees. It's a really tough shot because that's where the swell in the green is, and you're already short-sided on its own.
It's all based off of nearest point. So if his nearest point of sight and ball flight is to the left of the scoreboard, he might have a good opportunity, like a good break, moving it to the left side because he's going to be able to bump it into that hill and maybe get it trickling on the green softly.
There's a couple more looks at Jacob Scott. Scott, remember, is trying to post a good round today. There is word that a rules official is on its way here to 18. Scott most likely able to play first if that's the case. Scott currently 1 over through 17 on his round. 3 under on the tournament. Shot 67 in day 1. So, Griffin, while we have a second, let's talk about strategy when you know you're playing in a tournament that is, you know, more than 2 rounds.
Yeah.
This one Wednesday through Friday, all at the same course. Clovernook Open, just an 18-hole country club, as Scott will play. So this chip, if he can hole it, could be our first eagle of the day. Certainly makeable from this distance.
Yeah, it should just be up the hill, moving to his left.
Scott went for kind of the chunk and run play there, but not going to love that one. Just left it maybe 12 feet short.
Yeah, maybe just too much loft in his hand, being one where he doesn't really have to fly it too far onto the green. Most guys, especially on tour, will take a pitching wedge, 9 iron, just bump it on just as short as he can with it landing on the green, get it running up towards the hole.
I mean, you can see the frustration. We talked about it off air. For these guys, it's almost more difficult. But I think it's fair to say, and Griffin, you would know as a college golfer, it's more difficult to grind on a tour like this. Or I know this is a, you know, unaffiliated event here at the Clovernook Open, but it's pretty much gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a good finish here, I have the purse sheet right here. The entry fee for the professionals and the guys who can cash these checks if they make the cut was $1,000. If you finish dead last out of the 44 guys who made the cut, you win $880. So
Yeah.
you lose $120 plus
Exactly.
obviously your expenses on the week. I mean, this is straight up gambling on your own golf game.
Yeah, well, you say gambling on your own golf game. Well, it's not like guys on tour. If you were to go play in a regular event, you pay your buy-in or whatever. It's not like you're making like this unreal amount of money. Obviously, $20,000 is awesome. Like it's a great amount of money, but like that's first place, and that's 3 rounds of unbelievable golf, especially in the windy conditions that we're in.
Here's John Aber from now Relief of the scoreboard. This is his second. Aber goes up high with this one. Lands in the middle of the green. Is going to roll all the way towards the back right portion. So that's the longest birdie try we're going to see so far today. But yeah, back to the purse. I mean, you talked about it. Because my whole point with how difficult it was, not that the guys aren't, you know, obviously better on the PGA Tour and the competition, the courses are stiffer. They're just so unique in the way that they can, you know, set them up. And Clovernook has this place down to a T for this tournament throughout these 3 rounds. But all of these guys are pretty much grinding for their golf careers. Yeah. What can I do this week that can set me up to free me up to just play in one more event, one more summer, maybe find a way to get into Q school?
Of course.
The guys on the tour, I mean, if you finish 20th place, you're making more than the champion here who has to play the best out of 104 in a talented field.
Well, there's a Kevin Kisner quote.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've heard it. Well, they're like, well, why do you play? Well, they pay a lot of money for 20th place, so like that's just kind of like the mentality that a lot of these guys have is like, if I can just get just one really good finish, that sets me for the next year, or like a win today by any one of these guys in the top group. That's a Q school. That's 2 Q schools if you save it the right way. Just
it can free you up.
Yeah, 100%.
And it feels like maybe you're playing with house money at that point.
You win one, and it's just like it opens the doors.
So interesting. Because these guys, just every single putt matters so much.
Yeah.
And not that it doesn't on the other level. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to think that way, that those guys that are content being there and they're not always, hunting down the Scotty Schefflers of the world. Here's Hebert's long birdie try. Got quite the backup now on the 18th tee.
Hebert, a Wittenberg grad, 5th year at, I believe it was Marshall. 2 D3 guys in one group. We love it.
Gotta love it.
We love it.
These golfers come from all over the place. Golf's such a unique game because at the college level, you play as a team.
Yeah.
But you can qualify for the championships and conference tournaments as a low-scoring individual.
Yeah, of course. It's one of the best sports in the world for that very reason.
So talk to us about maybe the differences of Division III golf compared to maybe playing in a conference like the Big Ten. What's different?
Yeah, so a lot of the tournaments are different. You play a lot more match play. The national championship at the D1 level is match play there towards the end. But for, like, example, the NCAC at Wittenberg is what we played in under 2 weeks ago. It's all stroke play. Obviously, the scores are going to be a lot deeper at the higher levels, but it's just a lot more. The golf is, courses are more firm.
Scott for birdie.
Courses are more firm. Birdies are everywhere. I mean, you'll see scores that are in the 10 under range, but at the D3 level, I mean, it's not like it's not good golfers. Like, a lot of these guys, like, maybe it's education that forced them or one of them to go D3, but like, the golf in D3 at the D3 level is still, like, it's extraordinary. Like, what some of the golfers can do. Like, Washington and Lee has a guy, Jonathan McEwen. He can contend at any golf tournament.
Right.
Absolutely. I 100% believe that. Great ball striker, can roll it end over end every single time. It's just, this game is just crazy the way it works. It's sometimes like you can go three rounds in a row and not break 80. And that's just, you just got to accept it sometimes. And that's what different levels of golf will bring you.
Well, the great equalizer, no matter what you look like or where you play, I mean, that definitely matters when it comes to these guys. But if you're playing in independent tournaments like this one, the only thing that matters is the score.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's what's really cool is, I mean, if you want to be an NBA caliber basketball player, if you're really good at Wittenberg, you're probably going to pick up and go to an Alabama or hit the transfer portal. For these guys, I mean, if you're playing from the same distances and putting up the scores, you're going to pave your own way into pro golf. And here's a youngster trying to do it himself. The low amateur in the field, Justin Horn, on the 18th tee. Horn went to Milford High School, and he is the only amateur status player that made the cut here at the Clovernook Open. His tee ball shoots out to the left, and it looked to be potentially short of that left bunker area. If it is short, that's a really good place to chip from. You have plenty of green. You're into the upslope with the back right pin location. But that we saw from Van Fossen, that could be a tough trap. He barely got it out.
Yeah, it's giving you a lot of green to work with. It's just, it does, from the center of that green, it moves toward the right side and also falls off the back. You're probably going to see a higher shot.
All right, Jimmy Morton now on the 18th tee. This guy comes up at 8 under par. A birdie here or even a par will keep him as the leader in the clubhouse. That looks to be less than driver. He starts it out towards the left side of the fairway. And it stays out left. It did take a jump left. There's a bunker over there. He's probably 10 yards short of hole high.
That's impressive. That's the second guy we've seen take less than driver and push it up there.
Got to think that, I know the flag's not moving right now, but it has been downwind now the last hour. That could be playing a role.
Yeah, it just depends on if you cut it. I mean, if you draw it coming back into this, what we think is left to right wind, if you draw it coming back into that, it's obviously going to go shorter. But if you hit a pull cut with this wind, it'll ride the wind just a little bit longer and take some spin off of that.
All right, Griffin, we're going to have a little fun with this one. There's the leaderboard again. Evan Davis now through 12 along with Harper and Salyers. But a three-way tie at the top. Daniel Wetterich, Evan Davis, and Ashton Van Home with Grimmer, Morton, Harper, and Salyers chasing just one back. Give me a prediction.
A prediction. Wow. Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay. Well, it's easy to just say Daniel Wetterich.
Right.
Two-time winner, looking to go back-to-back, has played here really his whole life. Will Grimmer has the experience winning the Ohio Open up in the northeast Ohio area. Man, wow, that is a big question. I mean, if James Morton can, hold this, I would hate to go against him just because that would be an awesome story. But I think my easy pick is definitely Daniel Wetterich. Obviously, just the guy has seen this place more than any of us out here.
I mean, he grew up playing this golf course.
Yeah, he grew up playing this golf course. He knows the subtle breaks. I asked him last night. I was like, what's the biggest advantage for you? And he was just like, just being able to just see the subtle breaks. I've got more comfort than anyone out here. Just being able to see, like, if I see a flat putt, I'm able to tell where it's going. Just kind of that. So I would go with him, but.
And that's when this, like, moments like this in the final round back nine, that's when that kind of second guessing of, like, I've had this putt twice this week, but maybe it just goes right at the end. He knows. Yeah,
with Daniel Wetterich, I've seen this putt 100 times.
More
like,
than that, probably.
I know exactly what this putt does.
Right.
To this back pin, this is the same pin every year. So, like, winning it twice, I would think it's him, but if it's not him, it's Will Grimmer for me.
Another Cincinnati guy, Marymount High School grad. This is on 17. This is the third shot on the par 5. And that's tight.
Yeah, nice distance control there. One hop and stopping it.
That was Peter Bradbeer out of Rosemont, Pennsylvania. Looks to be about 10 feet for his birdie.
One thing to look into coming up to this last hole is it's the weight. These guys coming up with these final groups with one hole to play, they're going to be standing on the tee maybe with the lead. If you have the lead and you're waiting there for 10 minutes, a lot of thoughts start running through your head. Where will this ball go? That's what's going to be important for the guys who have won before, not just here, just everywhere. That's something important to look into.
So we'll have Horn and then Morton. Horn is short left, and I think Horn will play first.
Horn definitely going to be looking to go higher with this one. Drop it softly on nearly the front edge, maybe more halfway to the flagstick. It's going to be running away from him towards the back of the green.
Horn now lives in Charleston, South Carolina. He's a member of the Wright State golf team.
Wright State just won the Horizon League Championship. Individual winner, Shane Oaks. Comes a lot higher. Landed so soft.
That's a really good shot, though.
Yeah, coming from downwind, you're really just hoping it stays on the green because it can get sort of away from you, but just landed really soft. It was shocking.
Here's Morton. Looks to be shaking up some sand. I think he actually is in that bunker over there, Griffin. This up and down would be spectacular. Hits a low liner. Doesn't check up very much. Got to hit the flag. Will it come off this backstop? No, had too much juice. So a really tough downhill putt going through the fringe for his birdie.
I'm wondering if that was up against the back lip.
You rarely see a trajectory like that.
Yeah, especially with these guys, like I've been saying, the softest hands in the world
right.
as professional golfers. That must have been on the downslope or just against the lip because it came out really low. Had a little check, but a nice release towards the back of the green.
Two birdie putts coming up here at 18. But, man, the excitement, you can just feel it for what this afternoon is going to bring. And Mother Nature is kind of ramping up the stakes a little bit with it. Getting a little bit dark, cloudy here. The wind is severely picking up. You can hear it in our microphones from time to time. Pardon me. I got Justin Horn confused, especially when I mentioned Wright State with his brother Adam Horn, both Milford High School alums. Justin out of school, still playing on amateur status. Adam Horn is a part of the Wright State golf team. Justin Horn went to the University of Cincinnati, studied sports management a couple years ago. So from off the green and in the fringe, it'll be the man at 8 under par, Jimmy Morton.
You got to say he's got to be careful with this one running down and away from him, but also got to look to make it to get himself into that conversation at the 9 under number.
Morton trying to push the needle in the clubhouse just a little bit too quick. You could tell he went all out for that one, Griffin, and you don't blame him.
Yeah, he definitely knew where he was at.
Ashton Van Home has since birdied the 12th hole and now has a solo lead at 10 under par. Will Grimmer made a birdie in retaliation.
That birdie on that 12th hole is really short hole. That's 2 in a row for him on the 11th and the 12th hole. That 12th hole really short. You can push it up there with driver, just like this 18th hole, or you can lay it back and give yourself a comfortable wedge number to that front left pin that they have set out there.
Coming in on the front 9, Ashton Van Home shot 1 over. Talked about the back 9 opening up a little bit more. Birdie at 11, birdie at 12, and a solo lead on the 13th tee. Here's Justin Horn wrapping up a marvelous week as the only amateur to make the cut at the Clovernook Open. This one's going right to left, and Horn made it. A birdie finish for Justin Horn, the only amateur to make the cut, and he finishes strong. A 3 under finish for Horn. And the Milford native leaves here with some serious confidence under his belt. That's a top 30 finish, top 25 finish as of right now. Here's Morton to stay at 800 and be the leader in the clubhouse. Morton lips out. So a sour taste in the mouth on 18, and you can just see it already. We're going to have a lot of pressure putts coming in the rest of the way. The leader in the clubhouse, Jimmy Morton, 7 under on the week, all 3 rounds in the 60s. A 68, 69 yesterday, and then another 69 today. Jimmy Morton, well done. 7 under on the week has him firmly inside the top 10. And he is the man to beat right now on this young Friday at Clovernook Country Club. Here's Ali Khan on the tee. He's playing with Andrew Dorn. Khan at 3 under so far in his final hole of the 54-hole tournament. 2 over on Friday, and the wind just ramping up. This looks like a really good tee ball. Khan trying to keep it on. It's drifting out to his right, and it stays out and gets over the bunker on the left side of the green. That's a marvelous shot. You can't really try and play that type of shot. It just took a leap over the bunker, and he'll just be chipping from the left rough.
Yeah, that's a very good leave. That's one of the 2 spots. If you're not on the green, you want to leave it just short right or just on that left side, not in the sand. It's going to be a nice downhill running away from him shot, and he doesn't have to get too cute with it.
So we saw Jimmy Morton finish up as the leader in the clubhouse just moments ago at 7 under par. Now on the tee, Andrew Dorn. Shot 69 in round 1, 68 yesterday, currently at 2 under. A birdie here will have back-to-back 68 finishes on Thursday and Friday, and Dorn could become the new leader in the clubhouse with a birdie. He has Big Stick out on 18. Dorn kind of falls out of this one as well.
He just came down just in the right rough. right in the middle of the trees. He's not going to have fun with that one.
So on a whole, as maybe someone like me who just judges these guys on not making birdie on a drivable par 4, we have seen more bogeys than birdies so far. But we're picking up momentum and picking up steam as we climb in to the final few pairings on Championship Friday at the Clovernook Open. Ashton Van Home with a one-shot lead, and we'll be right back on Chatterbox Sports. Back here at Clovernook Country Club in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the final round of the Clovernook Open. A purse of $100,000 now in the 8th year of the tournament. And this year looks to be set up for one of the more dramatic finishes in history. Ashton Van Home sits at 10 under par with a one-shot lead over 4 golfers tied at 9 under. And 2 looming at 8 under. Here's one of the chasers right now. Sitting at 7 under par is Andrew Dorn out of Cincinnati, Ohio, a hometown guy. He shot both of his first 2 rounds in the 60s this week. Dorn shot 69 on Friday, 68 on Saturday, and he's currently 2 under, trying to get up and down for another round of 68, which would put him at 8 under par and could be a challenging presence as a leader in the clubhouse. Alongside Griffin Turner, I'm Luke Brenneman. We'll be with you the rest of the afternoon on Chatterbox Sports. Live coverage of the Clovernook Open. And this is the time where you don't want to jump the gun, Griffin, but it's starting to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
Leaders are on 12 and 13. This is when the course opens up a little bit, very birdieable. Dorn goes low, and he flies it all the way back here near us and actually hits off the Chatterbox production crew. And he's going to get solid relief because of that.
Yeah,
That ball was coming into the clubhouse.
That'll move. They'll move it just a little to the right. It's going to be a tough shot going into this grain or into the slope. It's going to be, like I said, into the slope. Going to be running away from him after the hole. We're gonna see up close and personal for us.
Yeah, we're gonna be right here for this shot.
Wow, I can't believe he went as high as he did with it. I think it got through all the leaves and the trees, but from over there, you have to back foot it like a 7-iron and just try and run it up there. It landed clear in the middle of the green.
Here's Ali Khan, turned professional immediately after leaving Ball State. Khan left his redshirt senior season in 2025, so exactly this time last year. Khan from Columbus, Ohio, went to the private school around there, Columbus Academy. That's a marvelous high school. That campus looks like a college. And he was all-MAC second team in 2024, trying to get up and down after a deep tee-ball here on 18. And Griffin, we continue to see it. These players are really respecting, with green to work with, the 18th green. No one has really tried to fly it back there, and with all the green to work with, maybe you don't even think about that. But again, another ball, and birdie look left 15 to 20 feet short.
Yeah, that one looked like he went with a little less loft than we've seen, and it just seemed to have died on him. Maybe didn't carry it as far as he should have. So we're going to get it rolling here shortly, I'm assuming.
So as a right-handed player, obviously you can't hit the ball where it is now. Looks like he's got his father caddying for him on the bag. Andrew Dorn played golf at Coastal Carolina University. From Westchester, Moeller grad. Just trying to find a spot here to play this third shot from. See, I'm one of those golfers, Griffin, where it would still freak me out just knowing that stuff's right there.
Yeah.
And my swing's probably
sure.
so bad I'd find a way to hit it.
Well, yeah. Well, like, a lot of people say, like, with trees, like, once you feel the tree, it's there, and then it's just in your head the entire time.
So this will be the third coming for Andrew Dorn. Dorn goes up with it. It just spits out to about a 10-foot par look coming a little bit beyond the hole. That's not bad from there at all.
Yeah, no, it's really tough out of this rough. Hard to get any spin on it. Also going up the slope and then back down the slope on the other side of it. Just tough to get it even remotely close to it.
Good time to shout out all of our Chatterbox Sports behind the scenes production guys. Reed Mouse running the show over there, our director, producer. The next group is already waiting on the 18th tee. That'll have Jack Sparrow. Yes, that name is real. Captain Jack Sparrow on the tee coming up soon, and Peter Bradbeer. But this is Ali Khan's birdie look. Remember, he put his drive all the way in the rough left of the green and chipped to here. He was frustrated with the chip, but he can make it all back with a long birdie look to get to 4 under for his week at the Clovernook Open. See, that putt just has not been working back towards the hole.
Well, yeah, it's like we talked about earlier. It kind of funnels towards this back edge of the green, and maybe it's just fooled a little some of the players just because just over to or passing to the right of the hole, there's that slope, and it might try and tell them that it'll work back to the front edge of the green, but it just hasn't. The only person we really saw make it was Michael Bradham.
And Bradham finished at 3 over, 5 over on his Friday round, 3 over for the tournament. So out of the 44 players who made the cut, you're looking at 34 that are currently under par for the tournament. And the low round still holds true today with Danny Fisher. Shot a 5 under 66. This is Dorn for par to be the leader in the clubhouse at 7 under. And he drips it in. It caught the lip, and there you go. The leader in the clubhouse right now at 7 under par, Andrew Dorn.
Yeah, very impressive up and down.
That's a fabulous par.
From way back here with us. Gave us a little dap up, got back to the green, and just made your routine par.
Finishes the tournament with scores of 69, 68, 69. That's a good way to put yourself in contention. No fluke round there. Just stayed consistent, stayed true to his game, and a par on 18 is definitely something to be excited about. So we'll throw it back to the tee now. Here's Jack Sparrow at 5 under par.
Still can't believe the name.
His Instagram handle is Captain Jack Golf. So at least he
takes advantage.
Acknowledges.
He takes
yes,
advantage.
And he turns it into a little bit of swag. Here's the lefty on the tee. So for him, this will be a draw coming towards the flag, and it looks like Captain Jack likes this one a lot. It lands just right of the hole, past all of the trees down here. So still another short-sided chip, but he's beyond all the bushes and leaves and limbs that we've seen get in the way all afternoon, and an up-and-down opportunity to get to 6 under par and finish up his tournament.
Yeah, he's just going to need to pay attention to his landing spot. Might kick a little bit right on him. It's a tough chip from just about anywhere on this green.
And now it's Peter Bradbeer. Bradbeer played golf at Bucknell University.
Powerful swing there.
He pulls driver, and he's looking out to the right. He puts it all the way past our scoreboard on the right.
Deal with the downslope just.
No, that's not an easy chip.
Yeah, not by any means. It's not an easy chip. The only thing going his way is with the wind being back into his face. He's going to be able to maybe hit it a little bit higher and get some more spin on it. But
throw it over to the 17th green now. In the white hat and sea green pants, that's Spencer Cross, the Knoxville, Tennessee native, and then playing with him in the black pants is Campbell Wolf out of Chicago. Both of these guys coming up next, and we're about 2 pairings away here on the 18th hole of just about everybody else coming in the rest of the way, aiming for the championship of the Clovernook Open. One more leaderboard update as you take a look at Cross, about to play his birdie putt on the par 5 17th, sitting at 3 under. Ashton Van Home has the solo lead at 10 under par. And then Will Grimmer, Evan Davis, and Daniel Wetterich all sit at 9 under. 3 chasers, 1 back of Van Home at 9 under. Grimmer is on 15 in the fairway. And then the final pairing, Daniel Wetterich, he's even on the day at 9 under par for the tournament. 1 back is on the tee at 15. So only 4 holes left for the final pairing. And we'll have coverage of what you see right now, the 17th green, and then the entire 18th hole the rest of the afternoon. $20,000 to the winner here at the Clovernook Open.
Beautiful weather we're having. It's a little windy, a little cold.
So remember, folks, the tough holes, every single group is all beyond 10, 13, and 14. Those are the ones that Club Professional here and a couple members of the Wetterich family who've grown up playing their entire lives have informed us that if you can get past 14, which everybody is past 14, including Daniel Wetterich, trying to go back-to-back here at the Clovernook Open, it opens up 15 birdieable, 17 birdieable, 18 birdieable, and it's hard to think that 16, I know it's the number 2 handicap hole, but a par 5 for a lot of these guys with distance, if you hit the fairway, birdie is certainly in play as well.
Yeah, of course. Talking about 14, all 4 guys that are 9 under or better all parred the 14th hole. Just to put that into perspective, that hole has played 0.5 shots over par this week. It is the second hardest hole, only behind the 5th hole, which is another par 3. Just putting into perspective, like, these guys are really just locking in, buckling in for these last couple holes.
So, Griffin, as a college player, I want to get your perspective here. So when we start talking about these guys at the top of the leaderboard, and they still have a lot of golf to play, but they knew at some point on this back 9 they were going to be in it just because of where they sat this morning. As a golfer, do you ever map out kind of, I just want to get through here at this number or be this many back, and then I can go? Because it seems like if that is a thing for some of these guys, this is the time when they're stepping on the gas saying, I'm going to make my move.
Yeah, that's a great question, because a lot of guys don't like they like to think, like, let me just take it one shot at a time. Like, once I hit it here, and then I'll assess. And that's something that, like, I'm not so, like, that way. Like, that, I like it more like, let's get through these, like, hard holes. Like, let's get through 1 through 4 at 1 under, and then, like, I can kind of open it up for myself. But definitely coming down the stretch for these guys, like, getting through those first 5 holes, that now opens up your opportunities to go take it deep.
Here's Brad Beer. See if he goes full flop on this one. And he hits it way upstairs. That's really good from there.
What an unbelievable shot.
Peter Bradbeer showing off the hands. He has about a 12-foot birdie look.
That was insane. Just full swing flop. The wind kind of helped him a little bit, but still landed like a feather.
Now here is the Indiana Hoosier Jack Sparrow. He goes for the little chunk and run play, and the lefty hits a pretty good one, gets an extra bit of love towards the flag. That's about a 5-footer for birdie coming up for Captain Jack Sparrow. Sparrow at 5 under right now, trying to push the number to 6. Remember, the leader in the clubhouse right now is a 2-way tie, a 3-way tie after Andrew Dorn just finished up. It's Owen Stamper at 7 under. He shot 4 under today. James Morton at 7 under, and Andrew Dorn at 7 under. We do not have a number greater than 7 under in the clubhouse. And Jack Sparrow, even if he can make that birdie try, will only be able to push it to 6 under for his week at Clovernook Country Club. So So just a heads up, if you're tuned in right now, some guys coming your way. We have a new member of the Cavalry within 2 of the lead. For the first time today, Connor Schmidt, who is on the 17th hole right now, is within 2 of the lead at 8 under par. It is Ashton Van Home, who sits in the 15th fairway at 10 under par, a one-shot lead over just Evan Davis and Daniel Wetterich chasing. Will Grimmer made bogey on 15 and is now 2 shots back of the lead. He's been within 1 all day. Grimmer a bogey at 15. Brad Beer will play first. He's getting a lot of help from his caddy on this read, and we've seen this putt now the last 3 years covering this event. Griffin, the ones we've seen made today have been straight putts.
Yeah, they've barely just wiggled to the left side towards us, but from time to time it's just most of the guys have missed it on the high side.
Brad Beer graduated in 2020. He's out of Rosemont, Pennsylvania. Played college golf at Bucknell. For birdie on 18. Yeah. Cheers to that. Peter Bradbeer drains the birdie. The best up and down of the day on 18. He started all the way up against the clubhouse behind the green and hit a super flop shot and cleaned it up with a birdie putt there. 4 under week for Peter Bradbeer, and he's inside the top 25. Now here's a look at Jack Sparrow trying to get to 6 under par for his week. Just misses on the high side of that one. I think he was hoping for it to work more to his left, but the lefty taps in for par, and that's a fantastic week from the Indiana Hoosier. Jack Sparrow shoots even par in his final round and shot dead even par on Friday, but sandwiched in between the 2 even rounds was a 5 under 66 yesterday on Saturday. Sparrow at 5 under currently sits in a tie for 14th. So a really good week there from Jack Sparrow. I would say that's the best birdie we've seen today.
Oh,
from
absolutely.
Brad Beer.
From what you call it, 30 yards. Getting it to land that soft out of this rough is just A1 effort there.
So now on the tee, Spencer Cross. He's at 3 under for the tournament. Pardon me, Cross is coming off a birdie on 17. He's now at 4 under on the tournament. He puts it in the right trees. It gets past all the trees and lands on a mound just right of the flag stick. So he'll have a clean look to the flag. Just a little bit of green to work with, but we've seen guys get up and down from that area now a couple times.
Should just be on the upslope, allowing him to throw it up higher into the air, landing it soft.
You know, Spencer Cross, this is a tough Friday for him, though. 4 under, he's in the top 20, but 3 over on the day coming off his birdie there on 17. That's a guy who started today at 7 under par.
Yeah.
So really thinking about winning this whole thing. And now Wolf's tee ball. I did not see it down. Campbell Wolf. He's at 3 under, 2 over today, so this pairing playing a total of 5 over par on Friday. Clovernook showing its teeth. But as these guys head up the 18th fairway, don't go anywhere. An outstanding finish is coming your way on Chatterbox Sports. Ashton Van Home, the solo leader at 10 under, but 2 guys trailing at 9, Evan Davis and Daniel Wetterich. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Chatterbox. Back here at Clovernook Country Club, final round Friday of the 54-hole Clovernook Open. And I'm joined by the tournament founder himself, David Wetterich. You just saw the leaderboard there. Your brother Daniel is currently 2 back of the lead in the final pairing. But let's talk a little bit about the Clovernook Open, because we got to have all the eyes in the camera on the finish with this leaderboard stacking up. Just tell us, how it got started now in the 8th year. This is a really well-respected event from the golfers and obviously the community.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Luke. Thanks to you guys for coming as well, too. How this event started was just me and my 2 younger brothers, pretty ambitious about having a golf tournament here. And we spoke to the right people at the club at the time, and the next spring in 2019 we made it happen. So it was kind of surreal that it was happening. And throughout the whole year, and even now, I still kind of have to pinch myself. And I mean, I'm honest with people. It's like, I honestly didn't think we get this far. And I keep saying that every year. It's like, I didn't think we get this far. And maybe I should change it up, but I don't want to jinx it too much either, though. So,
I mean, talk to us about the work. $100,000 purse this year, just under 110 golfers sign up, now 44 after the cut. We know the ambition and the love for golf in this country club on its own is why you wanted it here, but how did you actually put it into process and now this be the result?
Honestly, it's just like building a house. You got to take it brick by brick, and we started from the ground up. It was really grassroots. We had nothing. Year 1, 2019, we had 49 total golfers, and I think the purse was maybe 18,000. First place got 3,500, and now to come where we are now, we've had 108 to 120 golfers the last 3 years. $100,000 purse, paying out $20,000 to first place the last 3, and it's just come a long way, and we just kind of want to take it step by step and not really bite off more than we can chew either.
So one of the biggest storylines is obviously your brother. Last year, coming off winning the tournament at 16 under par, he's won 2 of the last 3, has a chance to win 3 of the last 4 if he can take this one this afternoon. I know you're the director and you're so humble about the job you do personally, but are you going to get out there at all and follow around your brother in these final couple holes?
Yeah, I'm hoping to maybe jump off here in a few minutes and catch him on 16 green and coming up 17. I'll be able to watch on TV in about 20 minutes as well, too, on the broadcast, so I'll be tuning in there if I'm not right in the action. But, yeah, it's really exciting to see him up at the top, and I mean, it's been a great last few years, especially with Chatterbox covering this broadcast. I mean, 24 when you were here, we had that playoff that was electric.
Willie Mack the third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Daniel was actually, I think, 1 shot out of that playoff, or maybe 1 or 2 shots out of that playoff. So, I mean, he's always kind of been a contender here the last few years, and it's really great to see that. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching, and I have a little bit of bias for who wins, but
of course.
Also Ashton's a very good friend of mine. Will's a good friend of ours as well too. We just saw Andrew Dorn come through here a little bit ago and have a really great up and down from basically where we're sitting right now too. So yeah, I have a lot of friends here, and I want them all to play great, but if Daniel plays a little bit better, I mean, it's just kind of icing on the cake.
Wolf chips up and he'll have that left for his par. But before we let you go, I know we want to get you on the course and see Daniel play his final couple holes. Do you mind just touching on the charity and the impact, greater than just the big purse and the hype around the talented golfers of this event? You guys support causes like Play Yellow, the First Tee of Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. Over $50,000 raised now in the 8th edition of this event. How did you guys want to incorporate that and make that a core piece of this tournament as well?
Yeah, and I think we're hitting about $18,000 in charitable donations this year as well too, and so we're continuously progressing in everything we do. But yeah, working with the First Tee, Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, we started off the tournament week with a clinic with them and their students, and it's just so rewarding to be out there and just seeing all these 9 to 17-year-olds' faces light up whenever they have that golf moment, and then just working with Play Yellow and Cincinnati Children's Hospital. I mean, who hasn't had somebody that they visited in the hospital and needed assistance with as well too. And so what a great charitable partner for them as well too. We're so happy to be working with both the organizations and look forward to where it goes with both of them.
Play Yellow also affiliated with the PGA Tour, so now reaching Clovernook Country Club. But we'll let you go. Thank you so much, David Wetterich. We appreciate it. Tournament director, also the head golf coach at Wittenberg for the men's and women's golf teams. But, man, one of the defining aspects of this tournament has got to be the charity and involvement. You guys do a great job.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on again as well, too.
Fill us in on what's going on while your brother comes up. We'll have coverage on 17 and 18, but Van Horn right now a 2-shot lead. Any parting words? What is it going to take for Daniel to go on a little birdie stretch here?
Well, I do know that they moved the tees up on 16 today, so it's playing a little shorter than 575 yards. I think it's maybe like 525. So there's a lot of attempts, good eagle attempts coming down the stretch, birdie attempts as well too. You just got to kind of hit the shots and play smart golf. So these last 3 holes are going to be obviously crucial and ultimately what decides the championship. So I'm really looking forward to the finish and seeing what happens.
Well, thank you for taking the time, and
Thanks,
we'll keep in touch with you and Daniel the rest of the way. But here we are, Ashton Van Horn now on the 16th tee, currently at 12 under and a 2-shot lead. Daniel Wetterich in solo second at 10, and the rest of the guys chasing. And here is one of the chasers at 9 under. This is Connor Schmidt. Schmidt at 9 under par. And Griffin, as you join us back here in the broadcast, I wouldn't call it booth, but area behind the 18th tee, talk to us about maybe some strategy from Schmidt. You have got to see the leaderboard. There's one coming up after he hits this tee shot. Driver already pulled, but he's 3 back of the lead. You thinking just try and get in for birdie and see your chances?
Oh, yeah, you're obviously 100% thinking birdie here, especially you're 3 back, but you're 1 back of second place. So just giving yourself a good opportunity for birdie and throwing yourself into that second place would be absolutely unreal.
Oh, my goodness.
Are.
A
wow.
dart from Schmidt. He has it within 10 feet for an eagle try on 18. Schmidt is currently at 9 under par. Oh, my goodness. If the leaders on 15 and 16 see Schmidt come in with could be an 11 under par eagle finish, that is some serious pressure down the stretch. Goki lets one rip, and I think he likes this one as well.
Yeah, he just said, like, I don't even care about birdie. Like, let's just make it 2.
That's more what I was asking you. Goki ends up in the left bunker short of the green. But, I mean, I know these guys are really good.
Yeah.
I play too many golf video games where on par 5s it's an automatic eagle putt and you have birdie tries in every hole. But is there, a strategy that you can take on this hole that opens up more of an eagle alley is the question I was going to ask. And on that tee ball from Schmidt, he flirted with the tree branches right on line with the stick and has now left himself a putt. So that's Connor Schmidt, who has about a 10-footer for eagle here on 18. And it's going to take more than just an eagle if Schmidt's going to win. I mean, he'll be done, but there's work to do from the leaders. If Van Horn can drop a shot, he'd put himself with a chance of a playoff. Still a ton of golf left to play. But everybody at 7 under is in. Grimmer is, you would start to think nearly out of it at this point unless he can birdie 16, 17, and 18 to push that number back above double digits. But Jacob Harper coming off a birdie at 17 joins Daniel Wetterich at 10 under par. But everybody keeping an eye on Ashton Van Horn, the leader by 2 shots at the Clovernook Open right now.
Yeah, it's important to pay attention, as Wetterich said. David just said that they pushed up the tees on 16, making it a lot more gettable, not 570 anymore. He said about 520, 530. So that gives Ashton Van Horn just that much more of breathing room coming down the stretch.
When you talk about breathing room, because we've been mentioning birdies and eagle tries, especially here on 18 all day. We'll have one coming up with Schmidt's putt. But for Van Horn, This is a unique spot because
Yeah.
any other golf course or tournament, a 2-shot lead with 3 holes to play,
Absolutely.
you're thinking par, par, par,
Yeah.
and somebody's going to have to make a move to beat me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you now, Griffin, with 16 being a par 5, 17 being a gettable par 5 and 2, and 18 just a 320-yard drivable par 4, is Van Horn still keeping that foot on the gas coming off his eagle on 15?
Yeah, absolutely. Any golf tournament, you're thinking, like, I still have to make, like, it. They're not going to give it to me. I have to go and win this thing. I have to take it. But at this golf course, with these final 3 holes being scoreable, like, I mean, if he gets away with a win here and he pars the rest of these 3 holes, I think he would be thanking a lot of people that aren't just
you think
himself.
So? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Just because, I think we're going to see more than just 2 birdies in these last 3 holes from that final group themselves. I think you're going to see at least 2 to 3, or at least 3 in those final 3 holes from those 2 combined.
So Will Grimmer, the Marymount High School grad, did not birdie the par 5 16th. So if Van Horn stays at 12 under, Grimmer sits at 8. He's just about out of this one when it comes to potentially winning it, unless he can go eagle for a miraculous finish. And now we kind of turn our heads to all the guys at 9 and 10 under par. We have some on-course correspondents that fill us in real time, not just the scoring, and obviously we do have camera footage of the 17th green. So the guys coming in right now here on 18 are Goki and Connor Schmidt. Here's Goki, 6 under par for the week. And if you want a breakdown of the exact purse amounts, to start profiting money, you have to be inside the top 36. And then if you can work your way inside the top 20, you're looking at $1,500 of a payout. Remember, the tournament entry was $1,000. Goki goes upstairs. He takes the challenge of flying this one back there, Griffin, and that's the best shot we've seen from that position, about an 8-footer for birdie coming up. We've seen so many left short from over there. And you see Goki do it, you wonder why. That's a good-looking shot.
Well, yeah, you could tell it kind of started gaining speed as it got closer to the hole. I think most guys were scared of that, but Goki needing birdie just to try and get his name into the top 10, might as well just get as aggressive as possible.
The top 10 is north of $2,000 on the pay scale. And then you seriously start getting rich inside the top 5. $3,500 to 5th, $4,500 to 4th, and $6,500 to 3rd place. Second place gets $9,000, and the winner a $20,000 check. What would you do at $20,000 right now?
I don't know. I'd definitely try and help my parents.
Help your parents?
But other than that, I get a lot of Skyline.
I was going to say, I just got back from college, so Skyline would be a stop. I mean, $20,000. I might ditch Skyline and hit up Jeff Ruby's or something.
No, a lot of Skyline definitely sounds a lot better to me, at least.
I like that call. I'm not a huge fan of guys our age that are already on to the high-end cuisine.
Like,
give me Skyline.
Like enjoy it while you got it.
Right.
And I hear a lot of guys say, like about pizza, like Little Caesars, like. Little Caesars was there for you when you needed it. Like it was
it's still there for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Will the Eagle try be there for Schmidt? As at 9 under, an Eagle pushes the needle here on 18, his final hole of the week, to 11 under par. Schmidt for Eagle. Just never broke back to the hole. A tap-in birdie gives us a new leader in the clubhouse. Connor Schmidt at 10 under par. We'll wait and see where the leaders come in, but a fantastic week. Connor Schmidt, how about that Sunday? You shoot 3 under on Sunday, you push the needle to 10 under par, and he's sitting pretty right now in a tie for second place. Goki for what would be an extremely clean birdie. Played it short left and chipped to here. Goki's got it. A pair of birdies between Schmidt and Goki. Goki gets to 7 under. That's inside the top 10. And he's in a tie for 9th place. But Schmidt puts it to 10 feet, can't convert the eagle, however, makes the tap-in birdie. And he's at 10 under par with this man right here. Here is Jacob Harbor. Harper. He would need an eagle to tie Van Horn's 12 under. He's taking an awkward look at this one. It hits short left of the green, and it's going to trickle the hole high. I mean, these guys down the stretch, when the pressure is really ramped up, are hitting the best shots we've seen all day here on the drivable par 4 18.
Talk about insane distance control there.
I thought he was looking at it like he didn't really like it,
Yeah.
but I think he just felt the finesse right there.
Yeah.
That's a 25, 30-footer for eagle to tie the lead. Here's another Indiana grad, Salyers, sitting at 8 under. If you can get it to 9 under, that's a top 5 finish. He doesn't seem to love this one. And this gets past the right trees. He's directly under the furthest tree in the right rough. I would like to think that it's beyond everything that could obstruct a look towards the green, though.
Yeah, might just have to take it just a little bit lower. Maybe bump it into that front ridge just before the green. Get it trickling back. Just got to be careful. We've seen a lot of balls come back towards us off the back of the green, leaving it tough up and down.
So here's a look at 17 now. That is Will Grimmer coming up with his father in the salmon sweater as his caddy on the bag. Grimmer at 8 under par. Shot 70, that's 1 under in round 1, and then 7 under 64 in round 2. Grimmer was looking for a low one today. This is the penultimate pairing, so right behind them on 17 will be Ashton Van Home and Daniel Wetterich. Van Home with the 2-shot advantage right now over the field. Wetterich at 10 under, one of 2 chasers right now. The leader in the clubhouse was Connor Schmidt following a birdie just moments ago here on 18. He's in at 10 under. However, Jacob Harper has an eagle putt. He's at 10 under. So a 2-putt pushes the leader in the clubhouse to 11 under par. An eagle would tie Van Horn's lead as Ashton Van Home is on the par 5 17th tee. Crowd starting to pile in here around 18. Sure, there will be a much larger crowd behind that final pairing following them. Wetterich's being members here. And Van Home. That's a good storyline on its own, the final pairing. Here's Davis, who's at 9 under par. I mean, this is a guy who's not out of it.
Yeah, no, none of the guys that are still on the golf course that are at 9 under or better are out of it by any means.
And if Van Home were to somehow slip up, then it brings a lot of other possibilities into play. Here's Davis's chip on 17. '17 and 18 both have water, but 17 is very in play on the hole when it comes to getting there in 2. We'll get word in just a second if that was Davis's 3rd or 4th shot. That could be a tap-in birdie that gets him to 10 under. Wow, we're seeing now on the leaderboard a pair of birdies from the final pairing on the par 5 16th. Ashton Van Home pushes the number to 13 under par. He's coming off an eagle on 15 and then a birdie on 16. And then Daniel Wetterich responded with a birdie of his own. He's at 11 under par. Here's Will Grimmer on the par 5 17. We've seen this one a couple times today, just a sweeper coming in from right to left. Grimmer plays it way out wide. That's an outstanding putt from there.
Yeah, very good pace control, getting it coming in almost from 1 o'clock on that clock if you were to think of it as a whole, but very well done there.
And now all eyes on the big fella, Jacob Harper. Harper graduated from Troy. He's from Valley, Alabama. Troy, a Division I college that plays in the Sun Belt Conference in Alabama. And Harper graduated in around 2018, so he's well out of school. He's experienced, and he's at 10 under par. Staring down an eagle putt here at the Clovernook Open. That is a long way to come. You see the desire to play in an event of this caliber in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jacob Harper grew up in Alabama, played college golf in Alabama, and the grind of professional golf has brought him to 2 back and an eagle try here on 18. The chip from Salyers doesn't go his way, and he'll have to do it again before we see the Harper eagle putt. This is one that golf guys say you can't leave short for Harper, right?
No, well, man, they say don't leave any birdie putt short, but I just couldn't disagree more. Just because you want to make that make the 4 obviously different. This is for eagle, and it's 25 feet, and it's for a lot of money, but just you don't want to leave it short, obviously, because you want it to have that chance of going in, but you want to secure your 3 and just get in the clubhouse at that 11 number. But if you can get in at 12, that would be otherworldly.
Harper, all the way back in high school in 2012, won the Alabama High School Golf State Championship in just his junior year of high school.
That one's got to sit down. We've seen a lot of them just keep trickling on by. It's not too bad there.
Salyers will have that for his par to stay at 8 under on the tournament. But all eyes shift to Jacob Harper, an eagle try on 18. Remember, the leader, Van Horn, is at 13 under. This is Harper at the bottom of the leaderboard in the bottom right-hand corner to get in the clubhouse at 12 under par. Jacob Harper.
This one just should be down the hill, moving to his left. Coming back towards us off the back of the green.
For eagle. To get within 1.
Gotta hurry up. Gotta go.
Just didn't hit it hard enough, but that's a tap-in birdie and a marvelous week of golf from Jacob Harper. A new leader in the clubhouse, 11 under par, from the Alabama and Troy native. What a final round, 4 under 67. He sandwiches 2 67s on the outside of a Thursday 68 here at Clovernook Country Club. And this is the Indiana University graduate Salyers trying to clean up his par and stay at 8 under par. 8 under is solo 7th right now. And he knocks it down. That's a heck of an up and down after a lackluster second shot from the rough that stayed in the thick stuff. But Salyers keeps his score at 8 under par and solo 7th. That's a high stakes putt right there. I mean, if you're looking for that tie for 8th, you're making around $2,400. Solo 7th, $2,700. That could be another entry fee right there. I mean, these guys are grinding. Here's Grimmer on the 18th tee. Taking another look at that leaderboard there. We're getting word that on 17, 18, the gettable par 5. Van Horn has dumped it in the water. The leader, Ashton Van Horn, is wet on 17. My goodness, things are getting real here down the stretch. The final 2 holes and the final 2 pairings are the only 4 golfers remaining on the course at Clovernook Country Club.
Yeah, on that 17th hole, water left of the tee, it comes up on you quick. I found that out the hard way back in the fall playing out here.
Grimmer 2-putt for a birdie.
Huge.
On the par 5 17th, where Van Horn just put it in the drink. So Grimmer is now at 9 under, and you talked about it, Griffin. If you come in to this 18th tee shot at 9 under, you're still in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grimmer's a guy who played some of the best college golf in all of the country during his time at Ohio State, came out of Marymount High School. And the one thing he's always tried to grind was distance. That is not Grimmer on the tee. That's his playing partner, Evan Davis. Grimmer will hit second.
Trees right, and it bounced back into the fairway. Just going to be perfect. Maybe about a 60-yard wedge for him. Going to be able to get just enough spin to hold the green.
So for Davis, that was an enormous tee ball. Now the graphic is Grimmer. That is correct. Davis comes into this tee at 10 under par. So if Davis can birdie, it would be 2 rounds of 67 and a final round of 68 to get to 11 under on the week. He's coming off a birdie on 17. So is Grimmer. Grimmer's most likely going to need eagle here, you would think. Remember, the leader in the clubhouse, or he would for sure need eagle.
Yeah, he would definitely.
Jacob Harper, 11 under. Grimmer taking a long look at this tee ball. Needs to give himself a putt.
Oof.
Where did that one land?
It landed just left of the green, took a hard kick, and I'm assuming it went into the bunker.
We are getting word that it is in the sand trap. So Grimmer will have to get up and down to get it to 10 under. But Connor Schmidt is in the clubhouse at 11 under par. Oh, pardon me. It is Jacob Harper in the clubhouse at 11 under par. And Wetterich at 11 on the par 5 17th. Ashton Van Horn, a 2-shot lead on 17, but he's in the water on 17. So you would think if it's his second shot that goes in the water, Griffin, you're taking the penalty 3, and you have to get up and down to save par.
Yeah, so I believe it was his tee shot that went into the water.
Okay.
So that's going to be 1, drop 2, hit 3 from just outside of the water. He's going to be looking.
That is a mammoth tee ball.
He can still get he can still make a great par just by getting it. He can still get it on the green from there and 2-putt from there. But it is a very tough shot. The ball will be above his feet. That water does come in to the fairway at about 280. So that will make it very hard for him to get to the green, obviously, with the ball being above his feet. But the wind is off the left, so he can aim a little bit more right, and there is nothing around that green. But I think the main thing to pay attention to is Daniel Wetterich needs to really lock in and pay attention, because just because he went in the water doesn't mean that I can just make par and be tied for the lead. He's still got to keep the pedal down on the gas. Just
about everyone we've seen on 17 is making birdies. So if Wetterich makes a birdie and Van Horn bogeys or even pars, you're at worst still a 1-shot lead.
Absolutely.
Now that both of the leaders in the final pairing approach the 18th hole, we are getting word that Van Horn will be hitting his 4th shot. That's a birdie try. And Wetterich will be hitting his 3rd.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So when we spotlighted the field earlier this week coming into this tournament, you knew that Ashton Van Horn, who's currently on the Korn Ferry Tour, was one of the names to look out for. With his talent and his game, playing professionally on what you could call a tour that pretty much every guy out here is grinding to get on.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the hometown hero, Daniel Wetterich, looking for back-to-back Clovernook Open Championships, along with 3 wins in his last 4 tries here at his home country club. I would say starts a dynasty of this event.
Yeah,
if you can win 3 in 4 years, that qualifies for my dynasty caliber game.
And it's not like the 2 years ago where he lost. It's not like he was just not in it. He was one outside of that playoff, that big 6-man playoff that we've talked about. So he has definitely just made his name out here as if it wasn't already made for him.
So Wetterich is in the green shirt. He will be hitting his 3rd. Van Horn has a wedge out hitting his 4th.
Yeah, he's just going to be having to go over that, either in the bunker or going over it. That is going to be a very tough up and down green running away from him, as we've seen from those putts behind the hole, really coming in hard from the right.
My, oh my, Wetterich, an up and down to get it to 12 under. If Van Horn can't get it up and down, he makes bogey and falls to 12 under.
We just got a look. Grimmer standing on the 18th green. He was staring at the leaderboard.
Wetterich tries to play some sort of a bump and run, but he kind of stubs it a little bit. Still looks to be north of 12 feet for his birdie on 17. Davis is coming up now on 18.
Wow.
He throws an absolute dart to about 4.5 feet for a birdie. Davis is at 10 under. He'll have that to get to 11 under. But all eyes go to the man on your screen right now, Ashton Van Home. This is his 4th shot on the par 5 17th. He has limited green to work with. He's not in the sand trap, but you can tell it's going to take a lot of finesse in going upstairs with this one. Van Home overcooks it, and that is a 20-footer for par. And we've seen that putt all afternoon prove itself to be one of the biggest sweepers and right-to-left downhill breakers on the entire golf course.
Yeah, that's definitely the safer play. I think if Wetterich had gotten a little bit closer with it, maybe he had gone a little bit more aggressive with that. But just knowing that he is at least, if he 2-putts that, going to be tied for the lead, I think going a little bit past the pin was definitely the safer play.
So as you can see there, Wetterich will play second, and Van Horn's birdie putt will go first. We're watching on 18. Grimmer shot out of the bunker. It needs to sit a little bit. It blows by the hole, and now to the back of the green. So Grimmer will have 15 or so feet for his birdie to try and get to 10 under par to finish his week. But the putt we're really keeping an eye on here on 18 is Evan Davis. Evan Davis played collegiate golf at Belmont, set the all-time career scoring record through his time at Belmont. And he's at 10 under par. Will have a birdie putt on 18 to try and push it to 11 under. Daniel Wetterich has a birdie putt on 17 to try and get to 12 under. And Ashton Van Home has a 20-plus footer that you can see on your screen right now to stay at 13 under on the 17th green. If he cannot convert here, Van Home will tap in at best to go into 18 at 12 under. A miss here from Van Home, and a Wetterich make on 17 could have the final pairing tied at 12 under par coming to the drivable 18.
Yeah, and coming to this drivable 18th, we've seen bogeys. We actually have a lot of them. So this isn't just the automatic 4 and get out of here. They're going to have to pay attention coming up to this 18th hole.
This is the right-to-left sweeper trying to hold the lead here on 17. Van Home for par. Plays it way out there. It's coming back, but doesn't work its way all the way to the hole. A bogey on 17 for Ashton Van Home. The lead is cut down to 12 under. Wetterich has a putt to tie him at 12 on that same 17th green. There he is in the Friday final round green, trying to generate some of that Clovernook luck and go back-to-back. Grimmer will play first. We're keeping you updated on 18 green. Grimmer has a putt to get to 10 under, but Evan Davis will play second. He has a putt to push this to 11 under. And Davis is only about a 5-footer, but here's the putt now for Wetterich to tie the lead for birdie. No, just missed it low.
Just ran out of pace on that, just up the hill. He's probably seen that putt.
This is Grimmer on 18 for birdie. Will Grimmer drips it in. A little bit of a fist pump from the Cincinnati kid, and he finishes his Clovernook Open at 10 under par. Will Grimmer goes 70 in round 1, 64 in his Thursday round 2, and then a 69 to finish inside the top 5 at 10 under par. Here's Davis for birdie on 18 to get to 11 under and join Wetterich in a tie for second place. Same with Harper, who's in the clubhouse at 11 under. Every single player at the Clovernook Open is now a part of the 18th hole. This is the penultimate pairing, Davis and Grimmer. Grimmer made a 15-footer down the hill for birdie. Now Davis looks to respond and join Harper as a pair of leaders in the clubhouse at 11 under par. Davis for birdie. Davis lips out. He'll stay at 10 under on his tournament.
We've seen that putt probably more than any putt that we've seen on this green today, and most of them have missed on that high side time after time, just playing a little too much break.
I mean, now is when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of this tournament, and you see what can happen on just one hole as Wetterich gets ready for his tee ball down a shot. Grimmer came into this hole at 9 under, hit a far worse tee ball and second shot than Davis, but Grimmer gets up and down, makes birdie out of the bunker to get to 10 under par. Davis can't convert the birdie putt, and they're now both in a tie for 4th place. Here's Wetterich on the 18th tee. Pulls out 3-wood.
Leaning just a little bit. Wow.
Wetterich lands it on the left side of the green. It escapes the fringe, and it's kind of teetering on that back left portion. We're going to have to get a better look at that lie. This could be a chip or a putt for Daniel Wetterich.
I would put a lot of money that he rolls that thing with his flat stick. Just going down that hill, moving to his left.
And now it's Ashton Van Home on the tee, the solo leader at the Clovernook Open.
You've got to think that Van Home is he's maybe just a hair shaken after that bogey, hit it in the water. Heart pumping on this 18th tee.
Van Home pulls out driver, a 1-shot advantage on the 18th tee box. Taking a long look at this one.
Wow.
It flies the flag directly on line, and he's in the back rough. And up and down would automatically win it unless Wetterich throws one in from off the green for eagle. So that's a tough shot because you can see on your screen there that left side of the green has, some slope to it, of that bump. So if you play it off there, it's going to run away from the hole.
The nice thing is he's going to be second. So he's going to get to see what Wetterich is going to do. I believe he's second. I'm not sure what the.
I'm sure they're going to take a long look at this one to
Okay.
see who plays first
Okay,
or
well,
second.
We'll say the good thing, or if Van Horn were to go second, he'll get to see what he needs. If Wetterich puts this within 4 to 5 feet, then Van Horn is going to maybe get just a hair more aggressive just because want to win in a regulation. But if not, he can kind of play safer.
Ashton Van Horn, another Belmont Bruin on this golf course this afternoon. Van Horn, a part of the 2016 class, and he just entered the Belmont College Hall of Fame. Van Horn is the first ever golfer to be inducted in the Belmont Athletic Hall of Fame. And in 2015, Van Horn's junior year, he became the first Belmont golfer to qualify for the NCAA championships. He qualified solo at the Chapel Hill Regional. And his outstanding play throughout college includes 6 individual tournament titles, 6 team titles, and he had a solo victory at the historic Pinehurst Golf Club. Obviously, Pinehurst, the host of the U.S. Open a couple years ago at their number 2 course. But all that matters right now for Ashton Van Horn is the 18th hole at Clovernook Country Club. Van Horn off the green, a chip from behind the hole in the rough at 12 under par, and Daniel Wetterich sits at 11 under with an eagle try, you could call it, as we send Griffin out to go take a peek at the pair of lies. There's the defending champion of this tournament, Daniel Wetterich. He strolls up 18, and Van Horn and Wetterich will now part ways. Griffin, you just took a look at both of the lies. Talk to me about what we're seeing, especially with Van Horn's lie.
With Van Horn's lie, it's just a little bare. He will be able to get underneath it and put some spin on it just to get it to be able to stop within about 5 feet of the hole. It's just going to be a little touchy. See how aggressive he wants to get with that slope, and the rough is really thick just right there on the right edge of the green. With Wetterich's all that green to work with, you could see him. He's going to pull putter here. That's about what I had expected with just all that green to work with. He doesn't really have to put any spin on it. He can just let it run out towards the hole down that hill.
All right. Both players have gotten to their balls. Van Horn is taking a deep look and now scratching the surface of his lie. I don't know if either have made a motion to see who will play first on the 18th. Wetterich now addresses him and gives him the finger gun, says, "Me or you."
And I wouldn't be shocked if they have a rules official come out, because it is very close.
Wetterich kind of shakes his head in agreement. But he's still looking around for maybe someone else to jump in here and give their.
We're all thinking the same thing, I think.
Couple cocktails getting passed around here around the 18th green. Few members, obviously family members, are in attendance. An exciting finish again at Clovernook Country Club for an event that just continues to never disappoint. And I think there's some confirmation there. Daniel Wetterich looks at himself, taps on his chest, and says, "Okay, it's me."
Yeah, I believe we just saw Van Horn with his rangefinder. I think they both shot the distance, and took what they got from that.
Ashton Van Horn talked about his glory days of college, parlayed that into now a long career on the Korn Ferry Tour, has made over a dozen cuts and played in nearly 50 professional events on what you could say the bordering tour, the entryway into the PGA Tour. He's also spent time on the PGA Tour of Americas. And Wetterich is using his putter and his handle of his putter on the green, talking to his caddy, saying, where should I land this? This is a hole that Daniel Wetterich has probably played hundreds of more times than Ashton Van Home. Remember, Wetterich, a 2-time champion. He's the defending champion of this event. Looking to win for the 3rd time in his last 4 years of the Clovernook Open, but it's going to take at least a birdie on 18. This is for eagle. Wetterich
Got some speed.
to take the lead on 18 with an eagle. It got there and trickles past about 5 or 6 feet. That's a tester for birdie for Daniel Wetterich. So without knocking that one down from greater than 50 feet off the green, Van Home can win the tournament with an up and down here.
Probably looking to land this just in the fringe.
A veteran in professional golf, Ashton Van Home, 12 under. Through 53 holes of the Clovernook Open. And up and down wins him a $20,000 check. Van Home, some soft hands, lands it front of the green. Ashton Van Home, unbelievable. The guts on 18 to put it within 5 feet and has nearly a tap-in birdie try. But Daniel Wetterich has the honors of potentially putting some pressure on Van Home because he'll play first to tie Van Home for the time being if he can make this birdie putt and maybe make Van Home stand over it and think about it a little bit more. If this birdie putt does not fall for Wetterich, then Van Home has 2 putts from about 4 feet to win the Clovernook Open. This kind of has a little bit of a Ryder Cup feel to it here when you get to this point where the guy who's out almost has the advantage because he's the chaser.
Absolutely.
Wetterich, you would assume, or you can guarantee, has this whole country club behind him. And this is for birdie to tie the lead. For birdie. Wetterich misses, and that just about gives Ashton Van Home the title of the Clovernook Open. A par after reaching the green in his tee ball. Wetterich frustrated with that one. And here we go, a putt to win it. Ashton Van Home to win the Clovernook Open. Van Home conquers Clovernook. The 2026 Clovernook Open champion, Ashton Van Home, wins for the first time. And write that man a $20,000 check. What an unbelievable week. Finishes with a final round 4 under 67. And Ashton Van Home wins the tournament by 3 strokes at 13 under par through 3 rounds of golf. Once all the scoring is wrapped up, we'll see if we can talk to Ashton Van Home and get him over here on our set. But that is some guts on full display there, Griffin.
Yeah, absolutely. Standing on that 18th tee after just hitting into the water and then making a play, or trying to make a play to just limit the damage. Standing on the 18th tee has to make something happen. Just pop and driver right over the flagstick, lands on the back of the green. That it's with that short shot, just incredible touch, being able to get underneath it, taking advantage of a pretty decent lie, and just finishing it off with that nice little 3-footer.
I mean, we know it's one thing to put it in the water, make bogey on 17, and then the pressure that was already existing starts to seriously ramp up. But to come into 18 after that pressure, a one-shot advantage against the defending champ and hometown home course in Daniel Wetterich, knocking on that door. Wetterich plays first, puts it on the green, and Van Horn's tee ball on a drivable par 4. He pulled driver. So he had confidence in what his plan was the entire week. And he hits it over the flagstick, just an unbelievable shot. And he needed par to win. He made birdie.
Absolutely. Just like I said, that short shot from just behind the green, it doesn't get any more gutsy than that. Being able to soften up your hands even when all the pressure's on the line, all the eyes are on you, just being able to just land it right on your spot and just trust yourself, trust all the practice that you've done coming up to this point, and it all pays off right here.
Ashton Van Horn at 13 under par wins the Clovernook Open. A couple guys tied for second, Jacob Harper and Daniel Wetterich. Connor Schmidt and Will Grimmer along with Evan Davis tie for fourth at 10 under par. And that is your top 5 in the Clovernook Open. The first-time champion and now the 8th edition of this event, Ashton Van Horn, wins it at 12 under par. We're going to try and track down Van Horn, get him over here for a potential interview. But man, oh man, a big thank you to all the sponsors of this event. Obviously, Chatterbox Sports put this broadcast on, had the video board here. A couple, 50, 100 or so spectators around the green watching the final groups finish up. That was just an exciting event.
Yeah,
and finish.
absolutely.
And it seems like that happens every single year.
Oh, yeah. Of course. This tournament, just from being able to watch it in the past, and I was able to talk to Daniel just about like what it means to him, just coming out here, just being able to put on such a good event, even with my coach David Wetterich. It's awesome to see all these people get behind this tournament, and as you said, you've talked to him earlier. It gets bigger and bigger, so it's very cool to see.
So we're getting word that Van Horn is going to sign his scorecard and come over. I can't wait to ask him just about the decision-making, the struggles on 17. But in round 1, Van Horn shoots 68. That's 3 under. Remember, the low round of the week was Daniel Wetterich at 8 under par on Wednesday. So Wetterich set the tone coming off his title in 2025 last year. And he fires 8 under in the first round. Everybody else is an immediate chaser. Will Grimmer gave the best run in round 2 with a 64 on Thursday. But Van Horn, after 3 under in the first round, shoots 6 under in the second round, and now a 4 under final round to give Ashton Van Horn the title at Clovernook Country Club. Professional golf is hard, man. That's my takeaway from this.
Yeah, they always say winning is really hard, and especially when there's all this money on the line, it's just coming down the stretch. You've just got to be able to trust yourself, and that's, I think, what Ashton Van Horn did the best. Even after hitting in the water on 17, he holes out on 15, makes birdie on 16, and then you step up to the 17th hole. This is the birdiest birdie hole I've had all day, and he steps up there, hits it in the water, and you kind of have a hiccup. And just being able to trust yourself like he did coming down the stretch, that's what a lot of young golfers should be able to take away from this, is just like, what can I do after going through adversity to really step over it and take it on with a full head of steam.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him. Another shout out that we want to give before this tournament wraps up is to Justin Horn, the lone amateur to make the cut. Horn finished inside the top 25 at 3 under par, shot 66 in his first round, and then 72-72 on Thursday and Friday for a final score of 210. But as we await Ashton Van Horn, a big thank you to Clovernook Country Club for putting on yet another marvelous event. And the weather today just continued to get better. The conditions ramped up down the stretch. Thank you, Griffin, for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. It was awesome. Very, very fun.
I just cannot believe that coming into the final hole on a drivable par 4 where Van Horn obviously had more distance than what was needed.
Yeah.
And a bogey on 17 with the driver in his hand where he put it in the drink.
Yeah.
He pulled driver again and put it right over the hole. I mean, that's just so awfully impressive.
Yeah, just having the belief in himself to step up there again. He's probably, I mean, the belief in yourself thing is I've hit more drivers, like being able to tell yourself, I've hit more drivers than you and you and you, and that's why I'm here where I am now, is like being able to step onto that 18th tee and just be like, I've done this.
And that was after an eagle. He chipped in on a par 4 on 15, birdied 16, probably thinks he's invincible.
Yeah.
I got this tournament.
Yeah.
I control my own destiny. I'm 32. I'm experienced in this field.
Exactly.
And he puts it in the water, makes bogey, and then birdies 18 when he just needed a par for the big $20,000 first place check. Ashton Van Home wins it. But, hey, they play a lot of money for second place, $9,000, a tie for second between Jacob Harper and Daniel Wetterich, and then third place, $6,500 for Will Grimmer and Connor Schmidt, a tie at 10 under par. I want to ask you, Griffin, you've kind of been around the course throughout the week. You've played this course a few times. 16 under par won the tournament last year. The winner this year at 13 under. What do you think changed between, speeding this place up, making it a little more difficult? Do you think it was all the wind this week?
It can definitely be the wind. Obviously, wind makes a huge difference just about anywhere. I think as the week goes on, it gets more firm. Maybe just like temperature can really mess with some guys. Some guys don't play in the cold. Cold hands makes a very big difference in golf. But like pins, like this pin on 18, as we saw, it's tough pin. Pin on 17 on that front left edge. It gets anything left of the green. You're kind of dead of par there, or dead of birdie there. So yeah, it just going, like, the conditions change all week, and that's just what the best part of golf tournaments are.
And also for now the second week of May. 60 degrees. Yesterday was around 55. You would think this course is sped up a little bit more. Typically for this time of year. But the condition was outstanding. We talked to the head pro earlier before the broadcast. He said you almost want it to be like this because it's kind of been wet following a rainy April. It's still a little bit cold, and the course will get into full, at least speed form, come this weekend. But before Ashton Van Home comes over and we talk to him, we'll send it to a quick break on Chatterbox Sports. We appreciate you tuning in all day. We'll hear for the champion coming up now. Bring you right back here on the set at Clovernook Country Club, and I'm joined by the champion, Ashton Van Home. Ashton, first of all, congratulations, but I got to ask, walk us through the 18th tee box. You're coming off bogey and a water ball with the driver on 17, a one-shot advantage, and you go back to the driver and hit a beauty that sets you up for the winning birdie.
Yeah, 17 obviously wasn't a great hole. Took a few deep breaths and got to the 18th tee and had forgot all about it, honestly. I knew Daniel was going to hit a good tee ball. He had the honor, and he did just that. And I knew I needed to make a birdie. A little bit in between clubs, and I went with the driver a little bit too much, but I just felt like let's go ahead and get it up there. And the shot on 17 didn't even cross my mind.
The confidence on full display. Let's go to now 15. This is when you made your move. The field was all around that 10 under, 9 under number all day. It seems like when you would birdie, everybody else would follow your lead and tie it up. But on 15, you do something that nobody else did this entire week. You make a 2 on a par 4. We only had coverage on our stream of 17 and 18. We heard you chipped in from around 60 yards. What did that look like?
Yeah, wind changed a little bit. Hit driver and got it way up there. had about 40 yards to the pin, much closer than I thought I would get it. In the right rough, but drew a perfect lie and was able to get some spin on it and kind of took a chance trying to land it kind of on the fringe. I couldn't see exactly where it landed, but got just the perfect kick, trickle right in the hole, yeah.
And then you follow that up with a birdie on 16. You're feeling that 3-shot advantage now. How much are you scoreboard watching at that point? Because we talked about on the broadcast, this course is so unique where you have a 3-shot lead going into the final 3 holes, but it's par 5, gettable par 5 and 2, and then drivable par 4.
Right.
So what's the mindset there when you know everybody else has the ability to get to the number you're at?
Right, yeah. I mean, I think you got to just assume guys are going to make birdies coming in out here. But if you assume that they're going to make them, you're going to make them also. So I just knew that I just needed to kind of keep my head down and execute and try to pick up a couple coming in. Making 6 on 17, obviously not the most timely hole there, but did enough on 15 and 16 to give myself a little cushion.
So what's next for you? You take the big check that's coming your way, $20,000 in this event, and if we want to keep up with Ashton Van Home, what's next in this career journey of golf?
Yeah, so I'm playing on the Korn Ferry Tour this season on a medical extension. So I've got a couple starts coming up. I'm playing in Knoxville and then in Raleigh in 2 weeks from now. So you can check me out on the Korn Ferry Tour.
We've seen you've made 1 of 4 cuts so far this year, and that's a place where a lot of guys out here, we've talked to them, are trying to get to, just
right.
Status on some tour. Maybe it's the PGA Tour of Americas.
Right.
For you playing on that tour, just walk us through the grind of this professional golf life. We know you've been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still enjoying it to this point? And days like this, do they just keep you going?
Yeah, it's very challenging. You make some sacrifices, but I also, I appreciate, the opportunity to do it, all the people that believe in me and invest in me. So that, that makes it all worth it. Today is great. It's awesome to see the results. But just, having people out here that care and that support me, that means a lot. That kind of keeps me going. I love the game as much now as I ever have. But it is challenging. Everybody out here is trying to get, as high up in this game as they can. And there's just not that many spots. There's a lot of really good players, but no, I really enjoy playing, and kind of enjoy the challenge. Yeah.
Well, we really thank you for joining us here on Chatterbox Sports. Congratulations
Yeah.
again. The Clovernook Open Champion, Ashton Van Home, shoots 13 under in the 54-hole 3-round tournament, and he wins the 2026 Clovernook Open. Thank you so much. A Connecticut guy taking over Cincinnati golf. We'll be right back for more post-round coverage on Chatterbox Sports.